Now
Right.
Rook A1. Yes, I found a good. Oh,
No, man, no.
Rook A1 to H1. Come on, give him the beatdown. It's mate in one day.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
that's
It's like training day, but it's mate in one day.
better than technique is just seeing your checkmates.
Yeah, I like to checkmate people because they don't see that coming.
All right. For those of you staying on from the Atlantic Division, how were things? Any good matches today so far? Maybe four of them?
I was watching a lot of matches today. They were all pretty exciting. And it's unfortunate that occasionally the teams get punished for replacing players or something. And that really put the Argentinian team in the hole. And
Oh,
they couldn't
shoot.
escape.
They had a last-minute sub?
Yeah.
Oof.
So, yeah, that wasn't good. So, yeah, but I mean, when I was checking the lineups, I was like, you know, I always expect the Pandas to be good, but I was pretty impressed with San Jose's lineup.
Okay.
And you know what I'm talking about. Don't you live in that area somewhere around there?
I live pretty near San Jose, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes of painful traffic, and you could be there.
Yeah. I've been in that painful traffic. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's got some GMs on every board there. So that's pretty good.
Nice. Well,
sometimes that's not enough.
Well, here right now, the first position that we have up is actually from a San Jose player, but it's their one non-GM, Ivan Ke. Here facing off with white against Jeffrey Xiong, a past U.S. junior champion.
I think Jeffrey just finished Tata Steel, and he wasn't having a good tournament, but he finished well, and he ended up tying for third place in the Challengers group and gaining some rating points. And he won a really crazy game in the last round. If you guys get a chance to look at it, you guys at home, I think it was against Matthias Bluebaum, and that was crazy. And Jeffrey won a real tactical melee there. So Jeffrey finished strong. That's all that matters.
Good finish.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, winning also is awesome, but it sounds like he won a good amount.
Yeah, I mean, tying for third place, and that's the B group used to be the B group. I mean, I used to play in it. Now, now the B group's pretty serious.
Yeah, yeah.
They got 2,700 players in the B group, so coming in third is really impressive.
I've never seen any other tournament where you can be 2,700 and be in the B group.
Yeah, the truth hurts.
But
tough tournament.
So Jeffrey here, obviously the more famous superstar than Ivan, but Ivan has had some pretty good performances on board 4, and you know, he's one of the board 4s to keep our eyes on as well. So you know, we'll see if he can do anything here with his first game against Jeffrey.
Yeah, we got GM matchups in round 1. Man, tough tournament. Like we got Holt playing Karilla, and we have
we have Holt playing Karilla.
And we got WGM Foizor versus Naroditsky and GM Zazoria versus Gorovat. So this is going to be a tough match. GM's on every board.
Looks like Karilla played 1B3, a move which has really gone up in popularity in the last couple years.
What does he mean? Yeah, what does he mean?
Since when is this like a GM thing? When I was coming up, there was only one GM who would play B3 against you, and that was Pavel Blatny. And everybody else would play like knight F3 or move a center pawn. Right. And now it's just whatever.
Yeah, when I played Blatny, he played B6 on move 1, so he tried. I play B3 all the time, but I mean...
But you weren't the GM back then.
When I played B3 in the U.S. Chess League about 3 years ago, I lost to a 2200. So then they told me to play D4. So I played B3 all the time in Blitz and occasionally in tournaments. And another player who plays it a lot in Blitz and Rapid is Hikaru Nakamura, and with success, I should say.
Yeah, I think I mean, I think we have to mention that this Hungarian kid kind of led the way to the new resurgence of B3, Richard Rapport, and then Hikaru must have partly looked at some of his games, not to take away from Hikaru's originality, but I think he must have seen some of Rapport's games, seen like, wait, this isn't that bad, and then developed some interest in it. But what do you think of what's starting off here? Because Holt, there it is, second aggressive move. First,
I want to raise my hand. Can I have black?
Can you have black? First, he plays H5.
Yeah.
That's one thing that you and Simon Williams can agree on. H5
there we
here.
Go. Yeah.
H3 is played. Now, frankly, I was thinking he might just go for a sack on H3, because if you go bishop F5, queen D7, it's not even clear how white stops you. But Holt was even more ready for action than that. So he plays knight to g4. Amateurs in the audience, not that amateurs in any way a bad thing, it's a great thing, but amateurs in the audience sometimes call these openings or these moves, knight to g4, bishop to g4, sometimes call it the fishing pole.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Have you seen that term? I'm not really up on all the names.
Term
but
at St. Louis. Yeah, I think Jonathan Schron says that a lot.
Okay. Yeah, so knight g4. So one point of knight g4 at an amateur level is like if your opponent takes it and you take back, then you play queen h4 and you checkmate them really fast. And then you're like, I made a brilliant sacrifice, which feels darn good. I mean, the first time you sack a piece in your life and checkmate somebody, that's a moment to remember. I forgot when it happened for me. But but
I'm still waiting for it to happen. So,
but what's the point of knight to g4 if white doesn't take it? See,
well,
with a lot of amateurs, they just take it and they checkmate, and they're like, it's so good. But
yeah, I wouldn't have played knight g4. I might have played it in a 1-minute game, but that's a very surprising move to me.
Yeah. So what's he doing next?
Well, I'm not sure what white's doing next either.
Okay.
That's a good question. He could play queen h4. He could do a rook lift. But yeah, I mean, knight g4 is a very strange move. I mean, obviously taking it looks suicidal.
Right.
Not taking it looks okay. Yeah. So maybe he wants to play knight h2, but I'm very surprised by this move. However, having said that, I'll still take black.
You still take black.
Still take black. Yeah. I play b3 all the time, and I'll take black. Yeah. This isn't the kind of position that I like.
No. I like poison pawns. I wouldn't take the pawn on g7 because of the g file opening up.
Right. Now, this is very difficult for white. I mean, you want to play like d3 and knight d2 and get your pieces out, but you might get mated before you finish. So it's very dangerous.
Oof. Okay, well, now he's giving him a target. He could play h4 now, right? That would force some trades.
Wow, h4. Well, h4, bishop takes g4, wins a piece.
I know. Well, he's certainly losing a piece. He's just forcing some kind of trade. He could also play knight f2 to lose a piece.
Yeah. No, g3 wasn't the first move I was thinking of either. I mean, black has to be doing well after something like queen g5. But maybe he wants to take the knight, and then after hg, play king g2, rook h1 if he's in time. So if he's in time,
so something like here, the whole suicidal. I let you checkmate me, and then rook h1.
Well, you know, David, suicide is painless. So yeah, maybe it's okay. Yep.
Okay, so queen g5 may be an option. Maybe he could take it then. Maybe knight takes f2 is possible. He can also play a simple move like knight e5, threatening bishop takes h3. Because anytime you undefend this, I mean, you just have to deal with it more and more.
Knight e5 has to be good. Knight f6 has to be good.
Right.
I mean, it's just g3, h3. That's not what white wants to do.
This way, if white plays h4, you can just play g5 really quickly because you left your queen open. If you do like knight e5.
Now this just looks just awful. Yeah.
So if knight e5 were played, what's a realistic defense of the h-pawn? King g2, perhaps. Right? Somebody just guessed something, so let's see. Top guessers out of one. No. Okay. So nobody guessed anything.
Yeah, because then if queen d7, we could play rook h1. So we're going to batten down the hatches there. But this is no fun for white. No, this is not good at all. This seems like black just crashing through. I could even play h4 and then have g4 play f5.
All right, two of these moves were just played. Knight e5 was played by black, and Kirilla quickly played king g2, defending his h-pawn. But Holt is still ahead, 2 minutes on the clock. And there's queen d7. All right. So, I mean, we have to assume rook h1 will be played quickly.
Yeah.
And then what's the next step here? G5, F5.
I mean, he could play queen F5 and then push his kingside pawns, but okay, rook H1 was played. H4 immediately.
Ah, wow. So he's going to answer G4 with F5.
Right, and I mean, that was an idea that I espoused. Of course, you know, the queen on d8 was defending g5, but white playing g5, that's no good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this has to be losing. It has to be.
Yeah, all he has to do is trade one pawn on the king side, and white will be losing. So with f5, he's sort of forcing this trade. If the pawn goes to g5, then he switches queen e7, and then he wins the pawn.
I've had my share of bad experiences with b3, but I have to tell you something, David.
None as bad as this?
Well, maybe in 1 minute. When I was trying to play b3 a lot, and I play it occasionally, I was looking at Larsen's games since, you know, in the 60s and 70s, Bent Larsen was playing it. And unfortunately, even though Larsen had a really good score with b3, when I put the games in an engine, the engine thought black had a big advantage by move 10 in almost all of his games. Then he would swindle his opponents and trick him and outplay him. And I was like, I can't do that. So I had to play different variations than Larsen did.
Yeah.
And you can see that for either side, you can get in a lot of trouble quickly when you're not playing 20 moves of theory and you're just sort of playing by the seat of your pants. And I think that was Kirilla's idea, was to get Holt out of his preparation and just play a chess game.
Yeah.
But it seems to have backfired because Holt played super aggressively, and Kirilla probably doesn't know b3 very well because Kirilla plays normal openings. I've played him before. He knows a lot of theory. So this isn't.
I mean, it does make some sense against Holt because Holt has been known for having a narrow but well prepared repertoire, right? Mm-hmm. Like he plays, you know, the French defense every game, and he plays it well, you know, and so against players like that, sometimes you do just want to get them out of what they've got, but it doesn't mean that they play every other position badly just because they know some positions really well.
Right. Yeah, so, and Kirilla just gave up the bishop pair.
It was his only way to keep control over the g4 square.
Yeah, but strategically, this is losing. Black has all the dark squares. White has no active play.
Right.
This is terrible.
I think the way to break through might be f4 instead of fg.
Yeah.
Not necessarily on this move, but at some point, right? Because
and Black should just castle kingside here and get his rook involved into the game on the f file.
Oh, and then f4. Hello.
Yeah, or just f4 now. Everything's good.
Right.
D4 looks pretty good too. Everything looks good.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I like everything for Black.
I don't like d4 because it softens e4.
Yeah.
But you're saying Black has license to do whatever now.
Yeah, because then he could play c5, bishop b7 even. I mean, just everything's good.
I see.
Yeah, it's a wealth of it's a cornucopia of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a raging inferno of endless streams, as Danny would say, or think. Yeah, something like that. He might not say it, but yeah. This is just awful. Yeah.
So I would go for kingside castling and some version of f4 at this point. Yeah. But yeah, several good options. Okay, Conrad castled. Let's just peek around real quick, see what else is going on.
Yeah, we have another match that started here. So we got the Surfers, I think.
At the Surfers.
And then let's see, are the Is that the Surfers?
Yeah, this is the Surfers.
It looks like the Surfers, and they're playing Seattle, and Seattle's without Hikaru. I made a video today on my personal YouTube channel, and I thought, I don't think Hikaru's going to play today because he played last week, and he's the last round of Gibraltar is starting like soon.
Or because you saw the pairings, or you just
no, I was just guessing that I knew he wasn't playing afterwards, but when I made my video, I was like, I would be really surprised if Hikaru played because he's playing the last round and he's black against Aronian in Gibraltar. So I don't think this is a good time to play here at like 4 a.m. and right before his game. No. But that's okay because Seattle has some tough players. They got Sargsyan, they got Mark Velishvili, so they're not hurting.
No, they're not hurting. Sargsyan's a great first board. And here he's playing up against Joshua Sheng for the San Diego Surfers, a team sponsored by Herges Capital Management.
Nice.
And Joshua, for those of you who didn't watch last year's Pro Chess League, is a very dangerous young international master. He played for the Surfers last year, and he scored several upsets. When he got the initiative against GMs, there were games where he could just push them from start to finish and just play brilliantly. So
yeah, and about 4 years ago, I'm guessing here, it might have been 3 years ago, I played Joshua in Vegas, and he had no title, and he was 2,200, and I was like, oh boy. And I was worse from the get-go, and I think I drew because I had the GM title next to my name, so he sort of was happy with the draw.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, I'm worse the whole game. This isn't good. And I assumed, unless there's something wrong with me, which there probably is, that he would get much better quickly because it seemed like he was really strong.
Right.
And I was happy to see that
he did.
I didn't just lose all my strength, that he's actually really good.
Right.
And he became an IM pretty quickly after that. And his FIDE rating is, within 100 points of mine. So he's a very strong junior player. And obviously is going to get a lot of upsets in the Pro Chess League because that's what the Pro Chess League is. It's juniors on boards 3 and 4 beating old men like me. Then they make old men like me do commentary. So
yeah. They beat you down until you switch to the commentary
booth.
booth.
All right, that's enough of this. Yeah.
Well, at least you avoided that feeling when you lose to somebody. You're like, that guy's really promising, and then a year later, his rating's gone down 100 points. And you're, uh-oh.
That's happened too. Yeah. It's funny. I always wondered why Renier Gonzalez wasn't better than he was because he always crushes me. And then in Vegas, he had 5 out of 5 and had beaten 3 GMs in a row. Mm-hmm. And he played Hikaru in the last round and lost in 90 moves when Hikaru walked his king back and forth from the king side and queen side twice in an amazing game. And I was like, yeah, that's the Renier Gonzalez I know, beating GMs and losing to Hikaru in 90 moves. That's the good player I know. And he actually hasn't done a lot considering what I think of him as a really strong player. But in the Pro Chess League, there's so many strong young players, and we know in 3 or 4 years they'll be the guys playing board 1.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we've got a lot of them right now, like Jeffrey Xiong playing board 1, who we already saw for Dallas, and Daniel Naroditsky playing board 1 for San Jose today. Danya here used to be board 4 for San Francisco in the U.S. Chess League, so that happens. Before we bounce around, what do you think of this game between Joshua and Sargsyan? There's a bad light squared bishop for white. Yeah,
this looks like actually a game I had against Sargsyan that I lost in Chicago with colors reversed because it looks like white's playing at Chigorin. He's played knight c3 and knight e2, and I actually had a similar position where I played a bit too aggressively and I got smushed. And I actually like Sargsyan's position here. He's a very good positional player, and as you said, the bishop on d3 is quite bad. So I think this is already a pretty good position for Gabriel.
Yeah. It seems like his game really relies on playing f2 to f4. Sorry, Joshua's game really relies on playing f2 to f4 to really
not gonna happen.
Mix things up at all. Now that knight f4 has been played, that seems like this case closed. No f4. No,
this seems already... And again, this is how you're supposed to be kids. You're supposed to squeeze them and know tactics and play positional chess. And even if you only have a minimal advantage, you take away a lot of their strengths. And this doesn't look like a position where a young player is going to play well with white. And I already don't like his position because I don't see anything really active he can do.
Yeah.
But that's what we expect, I guess, when a board 4 plays a board 1.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be called an upset if they, beat them consistently or scored 40 to 50%.
Right.
Unlike poker, chess is a game of skill, and the better player will win most of the time.
Wait, did you say poker's not a game of skill? Wow. It's a good thing Dan Smith's already left.
Otherwise, My bad.
The truth hurts. Greg Shahadi won't care.
It just slipped out.
Yeah. Unlike poker, chess is a game of skill.
Or I could use another example. Unlike Magic the Gathering, chess is a game where the best player can beat the less good player fairly consistently.
Yeah. Well, a good example of the weaker player winning often would be backgammon. Over a period of a long time, the top player is going to come out ahead. But in a random 7-point match or 11-point match, it's not surprising at all if a bad player beats a good player. If they do it over a period of several months, now that's surprising. Right?
Then it would become surprising.
So
this show would have to be like 50 hours long to have a surprising backgammon upset.
That's right. So I was saying there's no tactics, and I don't like his position. And then Joshua found all these tactics.
Wait, where did these come from? Sorry.
He
Knight f4, takes it, and he gets his bishop open.
Yeah, e5.
Well, that's got to be his best shot at this point. I don't really need to analyze it.
He might lose a pawn, though, because that d6 pawn looks more weak than strong to me.
Right.
So I'm not a big fan of the d6 pawn, but maybe he'll get some counterplay and he'll have enough for a draw.
Well, there's this really weird possibility. So if pawn takes f2, oh, sorry, he already played rook d8. So anyway, here he can play rook to e7 is the point I wanted to make, right? Because if rook takes d6, he gets the pawn on b7. And if knight takes e7, he has pawn takes e7, attacking the 2 rooks.
That's the kind of junior tactic we're looking for.
Yeah, and I was going to say the reason he wasn't going to play rook fd8 is the f7 pawn because of the rook on f1 with pawn takes.
So
d3.
this is really nice what he did, and probably Sargsyan wouldn't have allowed it if he had seen it. Knight takes f4 and e5. And I was saying there's no tactics. He's getting smushed. Then he found e5. So there you go. There's the tactics.
Yeah, he needed that. I was a little bit,
It's hard to keep a good tactician down.
It can be, especially in a rapid game. You're like,
can
I just make it all calm and positional and simple? And then like, there's some, there's always some dynamics in
but this is why Karpov was so good, because somehow he played great positional chess, obviously, but he always kept the game under control where his opponent wasn't, playing some tactic that somebody missed. And so why Petrosian and Karpov and all the greats were so good is they stopped their opponent's counterplay. Obviously, in a rapid game, that's a lot more difficult to do.
Yeah. I've never been able to play that way. I feel like when I spend all my time trying to stop my opponent's ideas, I just allow some new idea that they didn't even have in the position yet. It's just like
the truth hurts.
Tripping onto myself.
Yep. All right, so let's see. We have tons and tons of games as per usual. We always have a lot of games. Hey, let's go to the Panda, Josh Friedel. He's not playing for the Pandas, but close. Let's see who is playing this game. The Kangaroos are playing.
All right, so we saw this rook e7, rook d6, rook b7, and White's completely active here. He's not even worse, and that's where we'll leave it for the moment.
Yeah, I think he's doing okay.
All right, so you wanted to see Panda play?
Yeah, I haven't seen Josh play. I think this is his introduction
debut.
to the.
His debut.
That's right. And
all right, he's
debuting.
He's debuting on board 1, I believe, for the Desert Rats. So he should be playing the 4th board of the Kangaroos. So if he can't win this one, it might not be a good debut.
Yeah, this looks like a Briar, and it is a Briar.
It does. It does.
It's the ice cream defense.
Ice
and
cream
this looks
defense.
like it looks like Black's doing pretty well already. His knight's on f4.
Yeah, and an f4 is good.
Yeah, Josh also has had White in the Briar. In fact, I saw a game he drew Komsky in Vegas. So, yeah, this is the slow, kind of boring position Josh likes, and eventually outplay his opponent. That's the idea.
Did you just call the Briar boring?
It's the most boring opening I could think of.
And you complained about my comment about poker. The Briar is perfectly interesting.
It is?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what I meant. It's interesting. Yeah. No, but I do commentary a lot for lots of different, functions.
Right.
And I noticed that
your audience's eyes glaze over.
Yeah, when the game's like this and you're falling asleep, then 5 seconds later, all heck breaks loose. And a lot of times when there's some crazy night orf where both sides are sacking 5 pieces, it ends in some boring perpetual. So even though nothing's happening now and there's been no trades and we're on move 19, sort of backing up my point, that doesn't mean in 5 or 6 moves, all kinds of crazy stuff is going to happen. So that can happen any second where there's a lot of trades, there's an attack all of a sudden, and it's not boring.
You've convinced me, and I left the Briar behind and went back to Holt's game where he's trying to execute Karilla.
Wow, execute. Wow. So it looks like somebody's down a rook.
I mean, presumably that's why he sacked stuff and started checking the king, was because he wanted to checkmate him. Let's see. Let's just see a couple moves and how it happened.
Rook takes f4 immediately.
White played f4 himself to avoid Black playing f4. And then he just had to sacrifice. Yeah. Rook sack. Oh my goodness.
Mate. I think he takes on f4, bishop d4 check, and I think that's mate.
Okay, well, king f1 and king e1. If king e1, then queen G3.
King e1, queen g3, king e2, queen g2. You can't play king d3 because queen e4 is mate. Yeah. And king e1, I take the rook on h1.
Or you play queen f2 mate, so yeah.
Right. Yeah, I didn't see that, but your other rook is also hanging. Plus I'm queening my h-pawn, so this is just totally dead.
Wow.
Yeah, he's just dead. And king f1 is the same. Queen takes f4, and if king e2, queen e4 check wins. Yeah.
Yep.
So queen
that's
g3.
It. GG.
Yeah, queen g2 resigns. Queen g2, and that's it. Yep, and he played it, and it's mate and 1 no matter what he does. Even the mate I didn't see.
Even the mate you didn't see. Sparkling play from Conrad. Yeah.
Yep. Wow.
All right.
That was beautiful. Yeah. And he played so quickly. Like bam, 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 sack. So.
Also, it looks like that's the first game of the night. Dallas Destiny won over the San Jose Hackers. So That's a good way to start the day. Thank you, Conrad.
Yeah, that was
for giving us that.
That was one of the only good games I played last year. Black against Conrad, I was able to win, and even I was surprised because I have a lot of trouble with Conrad, including when he was rated 2100. I had a lot of trouble with him. So that was Conrad's a tough player.
Well, now the amateurs are just going to keep playing their fishing pole opening. They're going to be like, "See,
that's right.
It's good." Do you see what Conrad did?
They catch some fish with it, exactly. Yeah.
All right, clicking around.
Let's see. What do we got here? Who's in time trouble?
What's most thrilling. I was slightly interested in this endgame between Gorovets and Azoria.
Wow, that's the board I'm at. You read my mind. Good job. Also, I'm just looking at the time. I like the time trouble. So they both have passed spawns. Black's up a pawn, if I can count correctly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Both kings look relatively safe. The A pawn looks better than the D pawn because the A pawn looks really good.
Yeah, yeah.
2 minutes is more than 1 minute. Yeah. But I'm still going to give the edge to Azoria.
You got to give it to the A pawn, huh?
Got the A pawn. The bishop's probably better than the knight in these kind of positions. Yeah, and I think I prefer black here.
The rook on the second can also be a little bit annoying sometimes. So
knight takes F6. I can't see these tactics. Wow.
You couldn't?
No, I like that move.
Oh. Okay.
Now, do we have some kind of bishop E7?
Knight E8, something or other.
Let's see. Then what's happening? Okay, Azoria's thinking about it. Yeah. I have a funny Azoria story.
All right.
I was visiting New York with some friends. We went to Washington Square Park, and my friend met his friend there, and he said, "Oh, my friend likes to play 1 minute for money." And he's like, "Oh, I have a friend that does too." And we're like, "Okay." And his friend showed up, and it was Azoria. So that wasn't good for me. we were thinking, "Oh boy, we got some fish on the reel here in the fishing pool." Then Azoria showed up. So we just played 3 minute and we didn't play for money because that wouldn't be fair to my guy.
Yeah.
And then I forgot what happened. I don't remember at all. No memory of it at all. And as our listeners will know, and you'll know for sure, when HB Global had that $1 trillion tournament in Minnesota with a $50,000 first prize, the winner was Sviat Azoria. Clear first, $50,000.
I remember that.
You can see what a strong player he is. And this looks like a draw, although I like Black's king better than White's.
Yeah.
But this should be a draw.
Black's still a bit better, but
yeah, that's reasonable that it's a draw. That's a reasonable result.
Yeah.
Knight takes F6 was a nice escape for Gorovets.
All right, so Danya has won his game against Foizor. So
won by resignation. That's a good way to win.
That's a 1 point for the hackers. It still says 0-2, but they've got at least 1 point.
Good, but yeah, Conrad Holt showed me. Wow.
All right, and another rook endgame, very similar to what Azoria has here between Sargsyan and Joshua Sheng, and it looks.
Let's see if I could find it, I would help you.
Looks like it should be a solid draw. I don't think.
I promise I'll find it.
That's all right. We're gonna move on anyway.
I can't promise because there's like 15 games going on.
Here I've got Grandmaster Chess Sasuke against GM Ni Hua. So this is the Panda Ni Hua with black in an accelerated Caro. They're just getting going. We've got time to catch up with that match.
Started. Yeah.
That's going to be the late match of the day. It'll be the last one to finish with a 100-move endgame by Yu Yang Yi. Some predictions are so obvious they don't count as predictions.
You think Yu Yang Yi is going to win in 100 moves against the 2300? They're board 4?
I didn't say he would. I didn't say he would win. I said the last game that we'll be watching tonight.
Oh, okay.
In 3 hours. 3 hours from now.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah. When
will be a 100-move Yu Yang Yi endgame.
Oh yeah. No, that's for sure. Now I'm confused.
Here's Yu Yang Yi himself.
Go to Chu Rutong's game.
All right, sounds fun.
The brilliant board 4 from week 1. It's move 2, and she's been thinking for 2 minutes, and she finally played D5. So she was stumped on move 1.
Wow, hadn't seen the Benoni before.
Maybe she thought it's move 2. I'm supposed to think 2 minutes, and move 3 I think 3 minutes, and that's
just to like keep it really safe, because we never saw her really take any risks in the first match that she played. But okay, d5, d6 from Stukopin. I guess one c5 is also a slightly rare move, but most people would just play d5 quickly in response, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, when I play d4, which is my main move, if my opponent plays c5, I have a lot of stuff prepared. I can play e3, c3 takes, or d5, but it didn't seem like she was prepared for c5 at all. And you really shouldn't take this inordinate amount of time in a 15-minute game, especially in a team match.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, if your choice
after that great performance 2 weeks ago,
we're not going to question her yet. Just over using a minute.
I question nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So some people in the chat are saying they haven't seen c5 on move 1. So it's true that it's definitely not common. Normally you'll see knight f6 first, and then if c4, you'll see c5, and that's an opening. Not the best opening, but that's like an opening you'll see more often. Not the best opening, as we both know.
Okay, let's look at Hilby versus Margvelashvili.
Okay, Margvelashvili.
Of course, Hilby's name is Nom 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 Nom. Well, not really, but that's some of it. Against Margvela 90.
Nom 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 Nom.
And I like this game because, like, Hilby's down a pawn, has a dominating position, but more importantly, from my perspective, Hilby's up 7 minutes to 1. So usually the higher rated player isn't getting beat so badly on the clock.
Right.
That's a very unusual situation. And strategically, Black's game is also quite bad, but Black is up a pawn. But yeah, there's going to be so many upsets on every board. I can't even call them an upset anymore. I mean, these junior players who are underrated against these old GMs like Margvelashvili, and that was funny. I'm calling him that because he crushed me the last time we played. That wasn't very nice of him.
No.
And he tricked me in the middle game, and I was losing right away. Yeah. Actually, we played in the U.S. Chess League about 3-4 years ago, and we won the game of the week for a draw that we had. That was pretty good.
That's impressive. You must have really entertained the crowd.
Yeah, it was an entertaining game. Yeah. So after I said there's a huge time advantage, Hilby refuses to move, putting me in my place, but still has a 6-1 time advantage.
Yeah. He's like, I've got 6 extra minutes. I could squander one.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
Some people might wonder why he can't take the pawn on c6, or if he should take the pawn on c6, and the answer is probably not because of rook d2, right? Takes.
Yeah, at some point I'll play rook d2. That seems
d2.
annoying. Yeah.
And that's just not ideal. So he's going to look for some other way to keep increasing the pressure.
I like his position. I like his time advantage.
Yeah.
And yeah, these are just super talented juniors that are playing. By the way, last week, we were doing commentary, and I was super impressed with this national master who had this super high FIDE rating. And after the show, somebody contacted me and said, that guy's an IM. And it said NM next to his name. And I was like, he's 2370 FIDE and he's a national master. I was like, shocked.
That makes more sense.
So I don't know who it was. It could have been Hilby, but it was somebody with a similar rating to Hilby. And I was like, man, that guy's pretty high rated for just a national master.
Yeah, well, he's got an IM next to his name today. So
yeah, that's there's so many good players in the Pro Chess League. And obviously, if you can get these junior players on boards 3 and 4 who are underrated, that's the key to success. All right, so many games going on. I like to find the ones where they're in some kind of time trouble.
Yeah. Ruotong is continuing to tank, man, against Stukopin.
Really?
I mean, Stukopin still got 15 minutes, and she's down to 9 minutes. I don't know what's going on. I mean, if she has a 2-minute lag on her connection, that's not going to cut it.
No, that's not good. Yeah.
Hilby and Margvelashvili traded these dark squared bishops. Uh-oh. Bishop f4, e5, bishop e3. Well, he's buried the bishop on e7, but he's let black get his e-pawn active.
Yeah, I just want to point out that Sargsyan Joshua saying is 1,000% going to be a draw.
Yeah.
So that's, man, when your board 4 draws board 1, that's a good omen for the rest of the match.
That's a good start. But it should be said that San Diego, I mean, their board 4 is 2373 FIDE IM. Like they're not playing like a 2100 on board 4 in order to load up the top, right?
When my board 4 draws Sargsyan,
you'll still be happy.
Pretty happy.
Yeah,
when my board 1 draws Sargsyan, I'm happy.
You'd be
Sargsyan not giving him the draw, playing for the win.
But your board 1 was always so you didn't have to be like happy for a draw.
We were sort of happy with our board 1. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So that's obviously not, I mean, there's not much time, but it's not much interest either. Let's see what Carlos Hevia, in other words, Chess Sasuke.
Now, wait a minute. He's not
doing
Hevia.
against Ni Huan.
He's my brother, right? Let's see. Do you get that reference?
No. No.
It's a song from the 60s.
Oh.
All right. So that game was drawn, the Sheng game. I'll never find the heavier game. There's too many games.
All right. Well, it's against Ni Hua. He's white. Black is Ni Hua. Ni dash
Okay,
Hua.
I found it immediately. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay, the time is the same, and Heavy is playing for mate.
Heavy
He's
is
putting
playing
his
for
heavier
mate.
pieces in the area.
That's right.
Wow. Yeah.
Everything's headed that way. I kind of like what he's doing. Ni Hua doesn't particularly have counterplay, but I guess he's reasonably poised to defend himself at least.
Well, you know, Ni Hua is a fine player. However, I must point out, in the 2001 National Open Blitz tournament,
you beat him.
Ni Hua lost to my brother. So we got to give it to Heavy. He has good attacking chances. That's right.
I didn't even know you had a brother.
My brother's 2,300. Where you been? Come on, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Everybody in my family is a master. They have to get out.
Or they...
Yeah. Yeah, my son was a master. My dad was a master. My brother's a master. I'm okay. I'll soon be a master.
Soon be a master. Headed that way.
Yeah, that's the way it's heading. Yeah.
All right. So Ni Hua once lost a
I
blitz
hate to
game.
Say I like White's position, but I like White's position.
But he's mostly had a very good chess career, and his position here is looking on the challenging side, difficult.
Yeah, he's pretending like he's not scared at all. Rook B8.
Yeah, he's like,
what's
whatever.
You got nothing.
And then the other guy's like, just in case your rook's good on B8, I'll attack it.
Yeah.
And Ni Hua says, I saw that coming.
Immediately. Well, his C pawn's pretty reasonable. He's got a bishop on H7. Yeah. So he wants to play C3, C2. He wants to play knight takes D4. Maybe we spoke too soon. Maybe Black has a lot of counterplay here.
Well, Bishop D6.
Bishop on H7 is pretty
Bishop
good.
D6 may have been a misestimation of what was really going on here.
Wow, Bishop D7. These guys play so fast.
Yeah, they do. All right, he's lining some stuff up now. I mean, he wants every piece hanging before he starts taking them. I like that style. He's looking at Queen G4. He's looking at Bishop takes C6. Is Rook G8 a possible defensive move? That's kind of like the first thing that comes to my mind.
Defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking C3.
C3?
Just C2.
C3, Bishop takes C6, and then C2?
Knight takes C6.
Oh, Knight takes C6. That's right. I suppose if you're going to sack one rook, you could sack any of them. All right. So maybe Bishop D7, C3 could come. That would be intense.
Yeah.
On C3, what about just Queen C1 right away, trying to get rid of the C pawn?
You can't have my pawn.
No.
Can I get C2? Well, D4 is hanging also.
Right. So you could get into
I can't really take on
complications.
D4 because you got this bishop on D6 attacking my knight.
You could try. We could go Queen C1, Rook C1, Knight D4, Bishop E7, Knight E2.
Yeah, but I definitely losing with both sides here.
Okay. But
now everybody who knows me knows I'm not a Trump fan. However, that C pawn, that's a good trump. So I'm going to predict a Black victory here because, yeah, here comes C3. That's the bishop on H7, the pawn on C3. That's pretty tough. The knight on H4 is really out of the game there. So, I mean, if White's not checkmating Black, then that C pawn's, I think, too strong. D4 is hanging. I can't play Queen G4 and Queen G7, mate. Maybe he won't see it.
Okay. We got to pop over to another board, Hilby versus Mark Velashvili, because the time trouble's more interesting there.
Num, num, num.
So we got 1 minute against 40 seconds. So Hilby's really used his time. And Mark Velashvili's
hasn't gone well for him.
His E-pawn's still looking pretty strong.
Yeah, this looks good for Mark Velashvili now. Yeah, things really turned around. I mean, Black's position seemed pretty passive. Now White's just fighting for a draw. And the time situation's in Mark Velashvili's favor also. He was down 7 minutes to 1, and now they both have less than a minute.
All right, Rook C2 was played. I wasn't even sure that Black could win after Queen takes.
I would play Queen. Yeah, you could play Queen D5 check. Queen takes C2 is interesting. Doesn't Queen take C2 just win?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he played.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mark Velashvili is going to win. Wow.
Nice one.
What an escape.
All right.
No time. His position was a bit iffy, but there you go. Yep.
And the natural order is restored. You know, not every game.
There you go.
Upset.
Yep.
Okay.
And in the end game, the older player wins. Shocking. Yep. Okay, now wait a minute. Okay, he already won. So Dreyev won his game. I saw that they both had no time. And who else has no time? Can you get to the game Michael Brown Black against Bryce Tiglin? Because they both have seconds left.
Probably.
It's Lowell Cats and Michael Q2 D5.
Right.
And
got it.
There's 1,000 passed pawns, and both sides have no time.
Yep.
It's the most fun you can have.
We're there, especially if you're Black, who has many more pawns, right?
Yeah, but Black has 3 seconds. So I resign.
So he's got the same number of extra pawns as he has seconds left. There goes one of his extra pawns.
Yeah,
White doesn't have that much time either.
This is a coin flip.
A2. Nice idea. Rook there.
3, 2, 4.
Oh, B3 was better there. B3, rook takes knight on E5.
Wow, they both have no time at all. And Black lost all of his pawns.
All of them. Nothing left.
Yeah. Well, Black's down a pawn.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
No.
And Black has more time. Didn't see that coming either.
Nope. Now White's the one with an extra pawn and no seconds.
Wow.
He gave a check. It wasn't very profitable.
They both have 4 seconds. Wow. All 3 results possible, and all 3 results will happen.
Yes. Guaranteed.
I'm not sure how that's possible.
Or your money back.
Black's threatening all kinds of checkmates.
He's definitely threatening something.
There's a 93. Oh, rook takes D1.
There's rook takes D1.
No,
he didn't see it? No.
Oh. Hey, mate one every game we look at.
Bryce.
It's us, David. It's me and you. Every game we look at, there's a mate in 1.
We're back to the mate in 1. So here, a better move than moving the king, everybody, was rook takes D1, diffusing the mating net by eliminating half of Black's army. All right. So it goes.
Who would have thunk it? Not I.
The game of seconds.
Yeah. Wow, that was crazy.
We've got fans of the Sluggers crying in the aisles, and surfers saying "boom" as if they had that one all along.
Wow.
Yeah. And Lolcats, unsurprisingly, his comment after playing this game was "lol."
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So that means even if he loses, this guy is a true cat of his name.
Did you see that screenshot of us on Twitter when everybody was hanging mate in 1 and we both were face palming each other?
No.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
I haven't been on Twitter this week.
Yeah, the internet's is pretty cool.
I know. I just had a busy week. I missed out.
Okay, so I'm trying to find where both players have no time, because that's the most fun you can have.
Yeah.
Let's see. And all these games are finished where they have no time. Now the players have time. Ooh, let's go back to Nihua.
Okay.
That's the most exciting position of all time.
Of course, that is a very exciting one. Whoa. All right, it's continued. So let's just catch everyone up on what happened. C3 was played. He's like, I can't stop that c-pawn. Let's checkmate. Queen g4, rook g8, bishop takes b8. Now the rook can't take on b8, so the knight took on b8.
Now I've changed my mind and I like white, because now white's queen and rook defends c1. He's up in exchange.
e6,
the
f6.
Black rook on g8's no good.
Queen f4.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
Somehow he sort of
I thought white would be PO'd after c3, but he didn't get the Star Wars reference. So white's doing great.
Yeah, I mean, the c-pawn is still a threat, but he diffused the possibilities of knight d4, which were kind of annoying, sort of activating Black. And he made a good pass pawn out of his e-pawn, which will be his own counterplay if he ever has to sack material for the c-pawn. And
this is a pretty major upset of heavier wins. Look at the difference in FIDE ratings. That's a big difference. That's almost 200 points.
Normal GMs are supposed to be at a fair disadvantage against Nihua.
I know exactly what you're talking about. The truth hurts. Yeah.
All right, just throws that in there. Boom.
It's funny. I like Rutong's position, and she's sort of catching up on time. So,
man,
things are going back, and then Yihua's game is crazy.
Does rook h3 win? I mean,
are you playing for checkmate?
Or cheapos? I don't know.
Wait, what happened?
He traded on c6 instead.
Knight c6.
I mean, he can also go e7, but then knight takes e7.
Just Black resigns.
Exactly. That's what I don't know about.
What's the issue?
I'm not sure. All right, he tried it.
That's it. Yeah, that's Black resigns.
You would think, huh?
I mean, yeah, he's landing an airplane in that king side. He's 747. Come on. Yeah.
That's a lot of pawns on the 6th rank too.
No, this is over. Wow.
Wherever that king goes,
he got to c2, but it didn't matter.
No.
Checkmate ends the game. Yeah.
Checkmate. Wow. The death of your king ends the game.
There we go. Just when I think nobody can stop the Pandas, they tied the match last week by luck. They were losing the match, and then this week, they're board. Was he board 2? Board 2 loses to board 3. Wow.
Board 2 loses to board 3. That's a good start for the Osprey, who haven't had a good start to their season so far. They started out 0-2 in matches. But that's a nice win for them, taking down Nihua. And a good game. I mean, any game that ends with checkmate is pretty good.
Yeah, that was a nice attack. Okay, why don't we go back to Josh Friedel's game because it got a lot more interesting, this Breyer.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of just before you did this.
Both have 2.5 minutes.
Yep.
And looks like Josh is a Bob Seger fan because he's working on his knight moves. Knight c3 attacking the rook and the d pawn. It still seems like it's in the draw zone, but I would take black because black has that extra a pawn.
Right.
And he's making some threats. So he has the initiative.
He is a little bit, but, you know, white could lodge this bishop on e6, and he's got pressure on d6. So I think white might be able to just keep this balanced, actually.
Yeah. And the time is balanced, too. Yeah. All 3 results possible as per usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if the d pawn is good for white or if it's weak.
I don't know.
I'm hoping for rook takes. It's defended a lot.
I'm hoping for rook takes f2 at some point, but that doesn't seem like it'll work.
Maybe, it could happen at some point.
Maybe knight b5 to d4. Maybe, I don't know. I don't quite see the juice he needs. He needs to work around that bishop and attack somewhere else.
Boy, I really don't like Stukopin's position against Chu Rutong.
Oh, no?
No, I don't. I think she's doing great.
It looks like her internet connection's working better, too.
Yeah, she's catching up on time. She's got the 2 bishops. She's got
the bullet threat if queen takes h5.
I like white's position. She's caught up on time, and she's outplaying her opponent. And the truth hurts.
Well, he did choose to play the Benoni on move 1, so he kind of outplayed himself.
That's right. And,
don't they say that sometimes? You played yourself? I've heard that said. So how about bishop takes g6 here, then knight takes g3 maybe?
Uh-oh, I know your favorite Eagles song based on those moves. Desperado. And now maybe rook takes e7? Wow, that's a Desperado and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a cherry on top.
And then white probably wins unless they lose.
Instead, white retreated. Yay, I like retreating. Here comes the rook. Here comes the rook to e6.
Bishop f3.
Yeah, I like that.
Man, you know, to retreat a piece that was that well placed takes a lot of self-possession, right? Rook, that takes maturity.
Yeah, no, white. I like white's position. Okay, now in Josh's game, he has a 2-to-1 time advantage, but I don't like his position anymore. Wow.
He did get that time lead, but
yeah.
Ooh. F4, that's aggressive. That's like saying that Brandon doesn't want to just lose on time. He wants things to get decided now on the board while he still has some time to think about his moves. Okay, if you can find it, well, this is actually their names are their handles. Ostrovsky and Smirnov. Yeah, better than Friedel.
That's actually their handles, is their names.
All right.
And they have a crazy rook and pawn ending where I'm confused as to who's better, and they both have less than 2 minutes.
All right, so here we've got a Kangaroo Smirnov with black in this endgame. I analyzed this endgame once. This rook endgame, I've analyzed it.
What?
Seriously, now you know how hard I work.
Wow,
on my chess.
Good. I haven't analyzed this rook and pawn ending, I must admit.
It's tremendously favorable for black.
I agree. Yeah. This is looking good for black.
Basically, I proved a win. It took it took a couple hours, but yeah.
That's some deep preparation. Wow.
Yeah. So Smirnov's got this one, and he'll continue his nice start to the season. If you go to the Pro Chess League homepage, you can see here the top performers so far in the league. And on this list, along with Yu Yang Yi, of course, and some people from other divisions that we don't know or care about, Anton Smirnov, the second best performance so far in the Pacific Division with 6 out of 8 and a 2685 FIDE performance rating.
Solid. I'd like to point out to the crowd that I'm sort of confused. It seems that the board 3 for China, Zhu Jiangyu, he won against a higher rated player very quickly. Like, really quick.
Before I could click on his game.
Yeah.
Well, that's good for the pandas.
I'm also confused as to why black resigned. Isn't black up a piece and can play knight d7?
In which game?
The game that Zhu Jiangyu won against Hovanes Gabuzian.
Oh, how can I find it if it's already done?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm wondering if this game, yeah, I'm very confused. I'm easily confused. That must be what it is.
All right.
Queen takes.
Well,
okay,
I won't be able to answer it for you for a couple reasons.
We'll get back to that. Maybe
Smirnov's
no, I
struggling.
didn't play this round.
Smirnov's struggling with the correct way to put this game away. He's now losing it instead of winning it or something like that, which is not the best winning technique.
No. Okay, so we'll get rid of that.
Yeah.
And some other games just started. But yeah, I want to see the games that are finishing in time trouble. Okay, so Yu Yang Yi won by checkmate. That's nice. That's always a good way to win, right?
Yu Yang Yi won by checkmate.
Yeah, Queen G2 checkmate.
There it is.
Yeah.
Jeez.
There you
How
go.
did they get so far in?
Yeah, and White just hung mate and won. White played knight takes c4 and then Queen G2 mate. Obviously, he didn't see it.
He's like,
because he could have stopped mate and won.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he was losing. His knight's hanging, and there's mate. The rook's on the 7th. He's getting crushed. So, but I don't think he saw mate and won. Yeah, mate's too hard to see.
Right. So you're saying Black could have also won with pawn takes knight on b5, but
and Josh won. His opponent had 11 seconds left, so that didn't work out well.
Okay, so let's see what happened after f4. Traded on e5. This is where we were. Took knight d3. Well, that was a collapse. There went a rook.
Yep.
All right.
The higher rated player somehow figures it out.
Yeah. All right. Let's just open up some new games. Or actually, Smirnov has 10 seconds.
Yeah, I just got to that game. Yeah.
10 seconds against Ostrovsky, and he's lost all his pawns.
The Black is winning easily, and now Black's lost.
Yeah, Black was winning easily.
Yeah. So this is just winning for White, and White has more time. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, that's a huge upset for the Desert Res, for Ostrovsky to take out Smirnov. Well, maybe not a huge upset by FIDE ratings, but I mean, certainly a great result because Smirnov is board 2 and a GM and a young, dangerous kid with a good record so far.
I'm not super impressed with White's technique, but I think it doesn't matter.
The last 5 moves, last 5 moves you guys want to forget. They haven't taught you anything about how you're supposed to play this.
Right. Yeah, I'm an old man, so I would really want to have White here. Yeah, he's not as old as I am. I'm older than both of these players combined. All right, yeah, the White's figuring it out now. King E6. There you go. All right. Yeah, King anywhere.
Got it.
G7, F7 doesn't matter. Yeah.
No, I think D7 was.
No, this is fine.
Okay.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Yep. And D5 is coming.
His way there too.
Yep. Yeah, it's just 2 extra pawns.
Yeah, it's hard not to win it.
And he has more time also. Yeah, now everything wins. He could even, like Rook E4. I was going to say even Rook E4 wins. That's the simplest.
Chu Rotong is in danger though for the first time.
Uh-oh.
This thing has turned around on her.
Never in all my years.
No, really, she's Stu Kopen's gotten all his pieces out. They're focused on F2. They're active.
He's up 5 minutes to 1. Yeah,
he's up on time.
Black,
So he's looking very comfortable now. So that's tough for him. I mean, tough for her. What comes next?
Wow, this is crazy watching Ostrovsky try to win this. Easily winning endgame.
Yeah.
Wow.
I clicked away. I don't think it's good for our... Oh, it's 3 seconds against 7? Should we show them something? Something like this? I don't think he's... I don't think he's got it. No.
No, this is a draw. Yeah. Wow, he did win that endgame. Wow.
Yeah.
Whew. Yep. Wow, that was pretty easily winning endgame. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
well,
should say
nothing's
game
easy.
drawn insufficient technique, but it says game drawn insufficient material. We should program that into chess.com, right? Like if you play badly enough, it's like...
Yeah. And this is looking bad for Rutong. Less than a minute, and Black has a lot of threats, and White's very passive. So Stupopen's going to bring it home.
Yeah. So trades to the opposite colored bishop. That doesn't reduce his attack at all, as we know. Now c4 can just get pushed, right? Why not? c4. Let's go. Bring it home. Bring it home, Andre.
Yeah, but still, it looked to me like she was outplaying him for a while, and then with no time on her clock, it seems like things went the other way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this could be the first time we ever see her lose. Let's see. I'm just going to click over and get a taste of Jeffrey Xiong's game against Karilla. This is board 1 for Dallas against board 2.
Okay.
Is Karilla board 2 this week, or is he board 3? He's board 3 this week.
Board 3, yeah.
Right?
Board 3.
Board 3 for the hackers. Jesus, board 3, 2550 FIDE. They brought a lineup, but he's low on time. The material's equal in the endgame, but there's some pressure on the A file. So it's like a nagging white advantage. What's the GM term for this thing?
Yeah, he's putting the squeeze on him.
Putting the squeeze on.
He's squeezing him, and he has more time. Yeah. So this is tough.
Okay. So we'll check back in on this, see how Christian holds up to the squeezing of the youngster. Rutong's down to 3 seconds, but queens have been traded, which is really good news for her. Queen E2 was played instead of C4.
Yeah, but it's good news, but it's not good.
It's not enough good news?
No. Yeah, that A pawn looks pretty good.
Ooh, that guy's far, far away.
Yeah, Rook F2 even wins now, and then A3.
In a kingdom far, far away, there lived a past A pawn who walked down the board.
Rook B2, the last move I would make to blocking, because Rook A, well, okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
But he's saying he's got Rook B1.
Yep. And finally she loses a game, although I think she had a good position. Yeah.
All right, so we need some fresh blood. So let's see. I'll click on Danya's game. I'll click on Igrok. We haven't seen enough of Igrok. Let's check out Alexei Dreyev here. He gave us some highlights last year, so let's see what he's doing. He's down a pawn. I like it. That's a good sign.
I know this pawn sacrifice. I think it's good for white. It's very hard to play for black. The only good player who's black all the time is Georg Meyer. And you have to just defend, and hang on to your extra pawn. That's no fun and rapid.
Yeah.
Yeah, this line's very tough for black.
Didn't Elyanov play something like this against Caruana once? 2 years ago.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Caruana eventually won. Okay, so there's a lot of pressure for white. Does white want to play D5 and explode the center, or does white... I know there's queen takes A1, but... You know, is the general plan for white to play D5 and explode things, or to build up their pressure?
I think you just build up, and black has a very passive position, and you increase the pressure. Yeah, it's just very difficult to play black. It seems like black's doing okay. He's defended everything and stopped all of white's attack for the meantime, but obviously E6 is permanently weak.
All right, I'm hearing in the chat room that this player here, Bryce Tiglin, might be the player whose title hasn't been updated. It's showing NM Bryce Tiglin 2439 FIDE, and somebody in the chat seems to think he's an IM, which is plausible, very plausible.
Can you go to Sargsyan's game with Hildby? This looks like this game is going to end soon.
Oh wow, okay.
Okay, he played King G7, which I didn't see.
Factor.
Too obvious. Yeah.
King G7.
Sargsyan's putting the squeeze on him.
Right.
But maybe he can defend. It's a big maybe.
Right.
I could play Rook on 8 to C7. That doesn't look like fun.
What about Rook 8 to C7?
That's what he played.
That should win a pawn slash the game.
Good. Yeah, this doesn't look good.
Or an exchange.
Yeah, this is the Sargsyan, punishment that he meets out.
Yeah. We've got a question from the audience whether or not Ivan Ke is beating Conrad Holt. I think we know for sure. I think we know for sure that Gabriel Sargsyan is beating Craig Hilby. So let's try and answer this other question.
Yeah.
Where
I was confused about this game because I thought white was up the exchange.
Dretch.
Oh, and he just got his rook trap, so he had to give a piece away. So he was up the exchange, but his rook was in a bad position. Okay.
Right.
Well, I mean, I'd definitely rather have black, that's for sure. So it's possible that Ivan is winning. Looks good for black.
But it's by no means over yet. It's just it's just an edge.
There's a lot of chess game left.
Maybe G5 now to stop F4. Isolate the E pawn and be able to attack.
I'm not really worried about F4 because that opens up White's king. That seems dangerous.
Okay.
You don't open up the 7th rank like that. But yeah, this looks like Black should win.
Okay.
But okay, he's down 3 minutes on the clock, so it's nothing's easy.
Okay.
And
so what should
So
what should Black do next if not G5, G4?
Yeah, and by the way, after Rook C7 and Sargsyan's game, Hilby did resign.
Yeah, that's an appropriate reaction. Whoa, I clicked on the wrong game, but
that was
there
harsh.
it is.
Yeah.
Rook C7 resigned.
Yep.
Very reasonable. Okay. So we got Ivan here. We got Kirilla down to 1 minute on the clock. And Jeffrey's got 2 extra C pawns to work with now. So what happened? At some point, Kirilla chose to trade on A5 himself. And once he does that, boy, his pawns are not healthy. This was skillfully done by Jeffrey to take all those pawns. Okay.
That's not very surprising.
That he was skillful or that he got the pawns?
Yeah. No, that he's so skillful.
That he was skillful, yeah. So what's coming next? C6 suggests itself?
Well, I don't know what's coming next, but I know who has 8 minutes and who has less than 1 minute.
All right.
So that's when you're losing, you can't have that kind of time discrepancy either.
I think Rook. Oh no, Rook B7. He trades and plays Rook B1. That's the problem.
Yeah. So this hasn't been Kirilla's match so far after his game with Holt in this game. Yeah, chess is difficult. Yeah, and Jeffrey's a really good technician, especially for somebody so young.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like the technical part of his game is the best. So
something that kids are not famous for.
Right. But
does Jeffrey still count as a kid?
How old is Jeffrey? 17?
He's kind of on the borderline, right? Like when you've been a GM for a couple of years.
Yeah, let me see how old he is. I think he's 17. Jeffrey was born in 2000, so he'll be 18 in October. So he's 17.
17.
That's a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on that borderline. I mean.
Yeah. He's a kidult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Scores so far, we've got Dallas Destiny 1 point up on the Hackers. So that's this match here.
Wow, close matches.
Jeffrey's team up by 1. Wow. We got the Surfers up by 1 against the Sluggers, and the other 2 matches are tied dead even.
That's pretty
Vegas
close. It's pretty close
Australia.
last week too, David.
Chengdu versus Rio Grande. Yeah, we got another close night coming.
Yep.
And we've got 2 maiden ones so far, so we'll see if we can top
funny.
last week.
I was really surprised at how strong I thought the San Jose lineup was, and they're behind. So, and they're going to be more behind.
Yeah. If Jeffrey converts this,
tough league.
Yeah. How's Naroditsky doing for them? He's playing
Gorovets I just clicked on that game. You read my mind again. What a crazy position.
It's good when we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, his center is great unless it totally falls apart. That's not great.
Unless Black can trade on D5 and then win the E5 pawn. So
and
we have to count.
Have 3 minutes left.
Knight takes A4. That could be a problem too.
Yeah. Wow.
What's he planning here? Queen to some square where it attacks the knight, followed by D6 check. Like Queen B3, maybe Knight C5. Queen C4, Knight takes B2. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I think it works for Black. That's how it works.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it's working.
Maybe Queen A5. Just sack a piece, right? Queen A5, Knight takes B2. Get your passed pawn to D6, and then try and corral the knight on B2. I mean, it's the only piece for a mile for Black. Maybe you can trap it. You've got Queen A2 check also.
Yeah, but the knight is attacking the D1 rook.
So, well, the queen has to move first. Queen F7.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then, I don't know, rook B1 or something. Knight C4, Queen A2. I guess Black takes on E5, and this doesn't quite look plausible.
He played Queen B3, which runs into your Knight C5. I thought was good.
Queen B3. It runs into any knight to C5.
Yeah, I don't know which one, but one of them.
Not Knight 7 to C5, maybe. No, even Knight 7 C5. Okay.
Yeah, that's what he played.
Yeah. Ow.
How do you say immediately?
How do you say ow?
Yeah. I don't know.
It seems like Black could do anything here, right?
Yeah, it looks like White center's more falling apart than crushing Black.
Yeah.
Both sides have 2 minutes, and I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again.
It's like the almost pawn roller.
Let's go quick to Conrad Holt's game before it ends.
All right. How's he
Conrad
doing
Holt
here?
against Ivan Ka. It's Tretch versus Knight 8-7-0.
Messy.
And I don't know who's better, but I know who has 5 minutes and who has 30 seconds. Okay. That I do know.
Tell us.
Yeah, it's not Ivan. Yeah, 5 minutes for Conrad, 27 seconds. So I mean, White has to win. Yeah. When you're up 5 minutes to 30 seconds, and you're 400 points higher rated, and the position is unclear, that's all you can ask for.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. So I'll take White all day. Now it's 5 minutes to 20 seconds, and this looks like another turnaround.
I think I might even see a winning move here with F4 check.
F4 check. It's hard to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks really, really tough for Black. That knight's pinned.
All
20 seconds on the clock.
I can confirm that F4 check wins. My personal computer has just...
Wow. That's a Conrad Holt kind of move too. Tactical calculation, very aggressive.
Right.
It's a forcing move.
Yeah.
So it seems like that's the kind of move he might play.
Mm-hmm.
And he's thinking about it. And this is a lesson to you at home. A lot of times, especially here at my chess center, when one side has 1,000,000 hours, and their side has 1 minute, somehow they play the same speed, which doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. They like play in their opponent's time trouble. And you can see here, even though Conrad has a huge time advantage, he's using it. He's thinking about his moves because his opponent can't. And he's going to have a huge time advantage no matter how long he thinks. So that's the right way to do it. Not, I'll blitz my opponent and try to win on the clock. He might be winning on the board. So, and Black sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting is very difficult, especially on the internet. When you're playing in real life, you see your opponent moving. This move could come at any time. He doesn't know what it'll be, and it gets more frustrating. Rook C7, which is a crazy move, threatening the bishop. He wants to play Rook C6, and Rook C2 goes to E2. Wow. So obviously Black didn't expect that, but I think he met it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing was he moved quickly. He didn't sit there like... figuring out what to do. He just made sure he didn't hang the knight or bishop, and still has the 18 seconds he needs.
Yeah, this is I mean, again, you got to go for White here because of the time situation, but Black's defending himself pretty well considering all the pressure he's under from those rooks.
Yeah. King
E5, and yeah, it's not clear how Holt could win this because Black's really defending himself well.
Solid. That's a one-time repetition, or really two-time, but you know.
Okay, and the Naroditsky game twice. Where they both have no time.
Yeah.
This is just, it looks completely winning here for Gorovets. I mean, he's got the 2-pass pawns. The E pawn's not dangerous. Black does have more time, so that could be a mini upset there.
I think the bishop's better than the knight, and it's still not decided.
Spoken like a man who lives near San Jose. I mean, yeah.
maybe.
No, the game's not over, but I think things have gone in Black's favor.
Jeffrey has converted his rook endgame against Kirilla. Let's just
shocking. No, that wasn't
check out how that happened. So
yeah,
it looks like instead of playing a quick rook b7, he played a quick get your king into the game, sack the e pawn.
There we go.
That's good technique. You got to know what you don't need, and he didn't need that. Now his king is involved, cuts the black king off with rook d2.
Yep.
The c3 pawn will keep the other rook from challenging the c pawn from behind.
No, that was very nice walking his king up.
Oof.
I tell my students every day, one day they'll listen. Now they're
and then rook b3, and he resigns. That's a nice way to end it, right? He's just cut every black piece off from the other pieces. They're all impotent. That was sweet. That was sweet. All right, let's see what's happening with Nara.
Are they as impotent as a pro chess league commissioner? That's what I want to know.
What's that?
Are they as impotent as a pro chess league commissioner? That's what I want to know.
Not sure.
Those are important questions.
Not sure. How do you feel Danya's doing? He traded off one pawn and got his rook active.
White's position's looking up. His time's not looking up. But as we all know, Danya's a great blitz player.
Yeah, he's still within the range of a draw as long as he moves his rook here.
Yeah, he might be trying to win. That knight's pinned. He's got an aggressive rook. Although with the time situation, that's a little suspicious.
Yeah, it would be hard to win, but it's knight to c7. I don't see how he would lose. Right? I mean, knight c7 should trade off the 8.
Well, he does have 6 seconds. Okay, he just got 2 seconds more. Now he's doing great. Yeah, this just looks like a draw, as you said. A narrow escape for Daniel with no time on his clock.
Ooh, he doesn't trade off into the rook endgame. So you're right. He wants to win still.
Plays for the win.
Wants to win still. That's how you know. If he
Sometimes when you play for the win, you play for the loss.
Yeah, but notice that Gorovets is down to 20 seconds as well. So it's kind of getting into that messy land. So he's going to check. Then he's going to check on the 7th rank as well to keep the black king awkwardly covering this pawn on h7. And it should still be a draw. I mean, with pawns all on one side of the board, the knight shouldn't have any difficulties.
Yeah, looks pretty drawn.
Yeah. I think Danya's decided that it's pointless here.
That was a fair result.
Yeah. Quite fair.
Very fair, very fair.
All right. So, what else we got going on? I'm sure there's a million things.
Does anybody have no time on their clock? Let's see. Everybody has a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah. We've got Alexei Dreyev still down a pawn against
That's the game I was just on. Yeah. How did you do it again?
Slow playing, just like you wanted him to. Looks like his last maneuver was bishop g5. How was his bishop on g5? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but this seems okay for black. Bishop other than the time situation, black's position seems reasonable to me.
Okay.
Yeah, his pieces are all reasonable.
But he's threatening bishop a5 and bishop takes c6. So
yeah,
how is
these
that
things
okay
happen.
for
He's
black?
already a pawn up. That'll give him the 2 bishops.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay for black.
All right. Fair enough.
Although you got to move at some point.
So what would you play as black then? You'd play
that I would resign, but it's
rook
okay.
c8 or pawn to c5 for black. Then bishop takes e8. Okay, not that.
Yeah, not that. Exactly. Well, that's why he's not moving. He doesn't know what to do.
Okay.
He's like, Ben says my position's fine, but I can't find a move.
Right. I mean, if he plays knight b7, then after bishop c6, he didn't get the bishop pair. He just lost his pawn. His position's kind of bad.
I keep looking at knight c4, rook c4, b5, but that just loses to rook c6. So I should stop looking at that.
Yeah.
What if I go take, then b5? Yeah, let's play knight c4 here.
Okay. You know there's still a bishop hanging when I play queen c6, right? So b5, queen c6.
Hold on. No, I didn't know that, but I had that under control. Yeah. Okay, I resign again.
The scoreboard got moved. Who moved my scoreboard?
What? Where's the scoreboard?
Fix that, production team.
Well,
Fix
it's
that.
okay. Yeah, that has the results from a little while ago. Now we know what happened earlier today.
Now they're saying that I moved it? I didn't.
Yeah, come on, man. Get with it over there.
That is silliness. There's no way I moved this thing.
The truth hurts. Who's going to take the fall for this? Not the commissioner, that's for sure.
All right. I'll tell you what. I fixed it.
Nice.
But I didn't move it.
I don't know. It seems like if you fixed it, you might have moved it.
No, thanks for the help, guys.
It might have been hard to fix.
Thanks for the help, everyone, for calling me on that. And now we've got the board back up. And what we first see when we reload this board is that Dallas is taking a huge lead.
Yeah, what the heck? What's going on here?
We have our first match that's not super close looking. So that's not me. It's been done again.
Yeah, and Mark Velashvili is putting the squeeze on Joshua Shang. So somebody's got to squeeze somebody. That's sort of how you would expect this game to go. And that's Mark Vela 90 versus JJ OSU. This looks really bad for Joshua.
All right. Sorry, I'm gonna come find the game in a second here.
Yep. Yeah, this not good for black.
Okay, Mark Velashvili, I found him. He's playing Joshua.
Yep. I mean, he's got a minute and 40 seconds, but that should be enough.
Yeah, he's got the GM position, right? That's what you want when you're a GM.
Yep.
So E4 looks good for Georgie here.
Great.
Yeah, you do that too?
I would play E4. Yeah.
All right.
Then rook C4 is good, F3 is good, knight E5 is good, king F3 is good.
Yeah.
All the moves are good.
Every move that doesn't hang the E4 pawn is good.
Although breaking my rule, never play F3. Can I stand that? I don't know.
Did your rule apply to end games as well as middle games?
It applies to every position. That way it's easy to remember. Okay, so knight D7. All right, is anybody losing on time? That's all I care about. Okay, so in the game Michael Brown versus Roland Feng, which is the same match, this looks like a Budapest gambit. Let me see. Oh no, it was a Bogo Indian. I was so close. So white's up a pawn, white has the 2 bishops, white has more time, and white's higher rated, but black's playing for mate. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and
black has the initiative.
He's also just played a pretty aggressive move, which either works or doesn't work.
That's correct. Yeah, white has everything going for him unless he gets checkmated. Then, yeah, he's throwing the kitchen sink in there, but I think he needs another kitchen sink.
He needs a second one if he wants to make an impression on white's king. White's king is pretty darn solid. I mean,
Always play bishop f1.
Michael's not left a lot of inroads, but here's one possible inroad. Knight h3 check.
Wow.
Pawn takes h3, queen e4. Rook d5 might spoil my parade, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's too bad. It would have been a fun parade.
F4, confusing the spectators and the commentators.
Yeah, rook takes f4. That was the normal move. That's what I expected, and then I was like, wait, what about this knight h3 thing?
Wow.
But rook f4 check. Rook takes f4 is the normal move. The problem is it doesn't really threaten much. So.
Yeah, but he's taking a pawn. He's getting close to white's king.
Yeah.
You know
what
happens
just
when we do commentary, David, is people hang mate and 1. So
right.
He's always got mate and 1 chances.
White might develop bishop d3 at some point and allow a checkmate.
It could happen.
Could. But white is still ahead of pawn with the bishop pair and a safe king. So I don't know. How about just ignoring black and playing pawn takes c5? Sorry, man. Not sure. Yeah, this kind of move. Rook into the game. Hello.
Rook d7. Rook f7. That's pretty passive.
Yeah. But considering that
if your rook hanging the whole game.
His rook and bishop were going to be hanging for a while otherwise. Yeah. So he trades something off. And now, what a beautiful situation for white.
Yep, 2 bishops and an extra pawn and an extra minute. So he's pretty happy.
He's got one of everything you like more than the opponent.
Okay, so Mark Velashvili's wrapping it up against Sheng. He's winning everywhere. He's winning on all parts of the board, even parts I didn't know existed. That's how good his position is.
Mark Velashvili. Oh,
yeah,
I opened the wrong Mark Velashvili game.
Everything's great. Mark Vela 90. He's just killing it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is
beautiful. The truth hurts. Yeah. Now, Black's only hope is with all the pieces on the board, he can claim stalemate because he can't move anything. So this is his only chance.
Did you say claim it's not Zugzwang, it's stalemate?
Yeah, I can't move anything. Stalemate. B6.
Yeah.
Well, now I can start taking things. Take on c7, take on g5 with check. And the truth hurts. Took on g5 with check first. You can't move your king to the 3rd rank because rook g6 check. So you had to stay on h7. Now rook a1. Yes, I found a good. Oh,
no, man, no.
Rook a1 to h1. Come on, give him the beatdown. It's mate in 1 day.
Yeah,
It's like training day, but it's mate in 1 day.
Better than technique is just seeing your checkmates.
Yeah, I like to checkmate people because they don't see that coming. Yeah. Well, this is still winning, but he has 47 seconds on the clock. So if he doesn't win this game, which he will, he'll be very upset he missed that because that would have ended the game right away.
Okay, so he traded things.
Yeah, never trade. Yeah, checkmate's better.
So much better. I mean, now his rook is going to have a hard time dealing with anything on the other side of the board. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. That'll do something. All right. G4, G5.
That's annoying. Yeah. Knight takes E5 is annoying.
Yeah. That's normal. That's a normal move.
Yep. He's using the wrap it up button.
Yeah. It's like 3 extra pawns.
3 extra pawns is good. However, 24 seconds is not good.
No.
Yeah. So there's always tricks.
Yeah.
And tricks are for kids. So Joshua has a chance.
I've been told that some bullet players will never resign as long as they've got a knight on the board.
Okay, quick. Let's go to Michael Brown and Roland Fang again.
Joshua Sheng calls it quits.
Because I can't believe this. Now Roland's back in it. Roland is back in it, and both sides have no time.
He did get a knight h3 check somehow. After the trade, he still gets knight h3 check. Right. Now there's no rook to block on d5.
I'm going to find a coin to see who's going to win this game. I got to flip a coin.
Queen h5?
Wow.
What?
Yep.
So he's basically saying that still, if pawn takes knight, queen f3, there's just nothing to do. So
no, I mean, I don't know what's going on now.
He allows this thing here. He
it seems like with perfect play, this is a draw, but both sides have 30 seconds.
Checks here.
So anybody can win.
Takes that. Wow. Wow.
See, you just keep making threats and making threats, and your opponent can make a mistake.
Glorious, Roland. Glorious. I mean,
well, not yet.
He found his chances there.
Yeah. Now this should be a draw, of course, but I mean, if white keeps pushing his pawns, and he's pushing his pawns, and we could see rook and bishop versus rook here eventually, although with so little time on the clock. I actually think a draw is unlikely because there's so little time. I think somebody's going to make a bad move.
Okay.
There's just no time on the clock.
Yeah.
Now, if they trade rooks, that makes it harder to win. But I mean, look at the time situation, Dave. Terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, if he wanted to draw it, rook a7 was a consideration last move.
I think both sides want to win.
That makes sense. I always want to win, so if I were one of them, I would want to win. Ooh.
Some stuff is happening, and some junk.
Stuff is happening.
Still looks like a draw. Rook e4, very good.
Oh, that's a smart idea. That's a smart
he won't
one.
lose now, unless he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to lose now.
Oh, it would be so hard to. It's the wrong colored bishop for the a pawn, right? I mean, he could go put his king on a8 and then play bishop to h1. Yeah.
All right, so I said the draw was the least likely result, and now it's the only result.
It is.
So there you go.
It is. Wow. He would have to flag to blow this. Margvelashvili got the resignation that we saw before. Igruk won the game on time. Andreev here just... I guess that's one way to win with a better position. Just Tivlin also hung a rook, so that was part of it.
Okay, so that game is going to be a draw.
Let's see what else is going on. We got Chess Panda against Chess Sasuke, the matchup of people who like chess. I always like to make handles like, I like chess. Chess is good. Me and
like
chess
this game
are
between,
buddies.
I can't pronounce White's name, and Black's Brandon Clark, which I can pronounce.
Okay.
I can't pronounce either one of White's names, his first or his last name. Looks like he's a Polish grandmaster, if I'm just by looking at his name.
And it's not Timur Kuibokarov.
It's Benilius is the handle against B. Clark.
Benilius, yeah.
And the reason I like this game is White has 8 minutes and Black has 7 seconds. And obviously White's going to win. Yeah, when you can't pronounce your opponent's name, that's not good. Yeah, that means you're very likely to lose.
Yeah. So, Zbigniew Pakleza?
That's easy for you to say. Yeah.
Is up a pawn. He could play rook takes b8 here, bishop takes c5.
3 seconds left for Black.
Yeah.
Well, I just play bishop takes d6.
Bishop takes d6. That's fairly simple now.
And then I win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rook takes, and I win. Yeah.
Yep. That's fairly pleasing. Knight b7 is also a pretty strong move.
Yeah, the problem for Black's position is if White just gets... Okay, he played another way to win, which is even better. The king and pawning was winning, but this is even better. Knight d8 or knight a5 is a funny way to win.
Rook h8. Rook h8 is good also, too, right?
Everything wins. Yep, he played the funny way that I liked.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. And that's a nice win for the person whose name I can't pronounce. Yeah. Okay, let's quickly turn to Smirnov and Pakidze before Nazi gets checkmated. So she is up a piece, but the truth hurts.
Okay.
Now that's an attack.
Oh, I want to see an attack.
Yeah. So it's actually it's like their names, so it's easy to find. Anton Smirnov and Nazi Pakidze.
Yeah. We're there.
And White has a monster attack. Black is up a piece.
Just needs to drop one more pawn on b7.
Yeah, if this was a Buckhouse game, I know who to bet on.
Yep.
Okay, so she sacrificed the exchange to ease some of the pressure.
Yeah.
Although,
I thought you were going to say that Smirnov just sacked one of his good knights for her crummy rooks.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah. But it's not over. I mean, she's up material.
Yeah.
If she can, harangue that c pawn, rook c7, knight e7.
Well, she's not going to. He's got b4, b5. She's not going to win the c pawn. That guy is.
That's harsh.
That guy's there to stay.
I wanted to play rook a3, rook b3, and get my rook in there. But
yeah. Yeah, I would want to too. I'm just saying if she needs to defend the c pawn, I'm sure she can manage it. But there's some counterplay from knight f4 maybe. Some possible tactics. Pawn to g3 and then h4. There's still some moves here.
Yeah, but it looks good for White.
Yeah, Smirnov's going to have to find something kind of precise to win this game, though. Cover the third rank. That feels good.
Looking around here, and looks like Yu Yangi is putting the squeeze on Hevia. Yeah, this looks really good for White.
Yeah, I mean, queen on g4 is kind of a direct squeeze. That's some kingside play.
I didn't even notice that White was a pawn up.
You thought that Black had a g-pawn?
I just thought I like White's position. Then I counted the pawns and I was like, oh.
Yeah, if Black had a g-pawn.
Now I like his position.
If Black had a g-pawn on g6, then White would have to play like h5 to weaken the light squares, and then it would be a squeeze. But this is just...
As is, we often say at the St. Louis Chess Club, white has an extra pawn and the compensation. So yeah, not good for black.
No.
Yeah, Yang Yi has a pretty good score. Yeah, he does well in the league.
Yeah, he's at the top of this table here. Performance rating 2860, 7.5 out of 8 games so far.
Reasonable.
He's already added to that tonight. So this knight's headed somewhere better. Knight e3, and then, I mean, my dream is always king h2, bishop h3.
It's always fun to dream.
Yeah.
Wow, Churu Chong is doing it again. A very complicated position, but she has 2 minutes to 13. Wow.
Wow. So
That's
she's giving her opponents more chances today.
Yeah, and also I don't like her position. That rook on the 7th is too good. The c pawn is too good. So I think she's going down again. I think she's going to lose this game.
Well, does she have to move knight takes c5 here?
Yeah, but I'll play rook b5. Oh, then you could play knight e4. That I did not.
That's what I was wondering.
I mean, I think knight c5 is forced, and she played it. Otherwise, yeah.
All right.
Now, is there some trick I don't see, or is black okay here?
It feels like black should be okay.
Yeah, I saw knight c5, but I didn't see you could play knight e4 after rook b5. But knight e4.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously her opponent missed that because he wouldn't have allowed this. All right, time to put some of that 13 minutes to good use, but maybe I spoke too soon. Now she's getting some counterplay.
Yeah. I think we've got Grandmaster Jan Ludwig Hammer, and he suggested knight takes c5 as well.
Good old Yoon. Yep. Well, maybe white's still better, but maybe not. I do like his time advantage. Okay, let's go back to Smirnov Pakidze. They've traded queens. White has a rook on the 7th. White has a very strong passed pawn. Well, now white has 2 very strong passed pawns.
Getting stronger.
Yep, that was very nice. C7 and rook c1, and it's over. Yep.
That gets him in.
I hope you got to it quick enough for our audience. Yeah,
I did. I made it.
You don't see 2 pawns in the 7th rank like that very often.
No, that was a nice pair. That's a clearance sacrifice, right? Sacking the pawn to open the c file.
I can't make that joke. Okay, moving on. You set me up really good, David. Oh man, when I can't make that joke, you know I can't make that joke. I think Danny would have made it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it had to do with the nice pair of pawns that white had. All right. So moving on.
Moving on, we've got Conrad Holt against Daniel Naroditsky, and I don't know what this pawn is doing on e5, but something.
There we go.
Here.
I found the game.
E6. Okay.
White's overextended. No.
Bishop e3, so he couldn't take on e5. I suppose he could have taken on e5, but didn't choose to. b6 instead, and so now
what's
e6.
The score here? This was the team I was really impressed with their lineup, and they're losing 5.5, 2.5.
They got 2.5 out of 5.5.
The other 3 matches are all tied, David. 4-4-3,
4-4-3,
Pike. Yeah.
Like teaching us how to count.
Now, I'm not as good as these guys, but isn't Naroditsky getting crushed over here?
It seems like it, yeah.
He's getting crushed. He's just getting crushed.
He played f6, which you don't like. Conrad's going for h4, h5 for the 2nd time today.
Which I do like. Yeah.
So
Conrad's going for 4-0 today. Yeah.
I like the queen on c1 too. That's going to help for the next sacrifice that comes in.
Yeah, this looks really good for Holt. Yeah.
It's like nigh hopeless.
Yeah, I don't like this position for Naroditsky at all.
Jeez.
Okay, let's see. Who has no time? Let's go to Josh Friedel's game against somebody else whose name I can't pronounce, Tibor, and then you said the last name.
Yeah.
And Josh is down a pawn and has no time. But there's very few pawns on the board. And unfortunately for Josh, black's h-pawn is the right colored h-pawn. So that's not good. That gives black a lot more winning chances. And with 1 minute to 20 seconds, that's pretty good winning chances for him.
Yeah. I wonder if Josh...
It's always terrifying when you're playing online and you see 20 seconds, 15 seconds. And, when you're playing in real life, you can see your opponent moving and you're sort of ready. And here, like, the move just pops out at you and your clock starts running. So it's just tougher here. This looks like black's going to win. Black's really activating his king. He has an extra pawn. Josh has 5 seconds. So king d4. Yeah, he's going to win this position. Josh is going to go down.
Bishop h5 to push the white king into an even worse position.
Now he wants to play bishop d5 and win the king.
First, he's like, "What are you going to do?"
Josh has 2 seconds. Yeah, it's just a really bad position for white. And even though there's very few pawns on the board, because of the time situation and the very strong black king, I don't believe he'll save this.
No.
But he's trying. Yeah, black's just moving around, testing the waters, and Josh has to find a good move every time. King c3, king e2. Not a big fan of king e2. Never play f3.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, still good drawing chances. There's so few pawns on the board.
Right. I think actually in this case it doesn't really hurt white to put the pawn to f3.
No, that was actually
a little bit more room to maneuver his pawn and bishop.
No, I think with perfect play, this is actually a draw. And in fact, Josh is gaining time on the clock. He'll be very happy if he draws this game. He had a very bad position, no time on the clock, down material. But this looks like a great defensive setup, f3 and king f2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, this looks like Josh is going to hold because he's gaining time on the clock.
Feeling easier to defend, to play the moves quickly.
Yep, I knew the panda should have taken him. I knew it.
Yu Yang Yi got his knight to the promised land. You told me that it was nice to have a dream, and even nicer if your dream is the same as Yu Yang Yi's dream. So then you know you're on the right track. Rook f2, I assume. Threats around knight h6 check. And then queen f7.
It's not good. You know, I thought that Pakidze lost a long time ago because
but she's still playing. You sort of like...
she's still playing and has 3 pieces for a queen. I'm very confused. I thought the game ended.
You know what's amazing? She can't take any knight here. She's got 3 different moves to take the knights.
Yeah, and I guess like when white queen, Nazi's like, whatever. I got a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
So, wow, this is something.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
I mean, I assume white is still winning, but there's no time on the clock for either player.
No.
Wow, that's great defense by Pakidze. I just thought it was
pretty incredible. Pretty incredible to still have this going.
You got to watch those knights.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the fun might have run out.
There's no defending this anymore. It was fun. It was amazing, but it's not going to make a difference. That's what Macbeth said when he found out his wife was dead.
I thought the game ended. So that's a pretty good defense when the game isn't. And now the game's going to end. That's another queen. That's the same square, David. Who's promoted to B8 on twice in the same game? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Smirnov
shows you what I know. I thought that game was over.
All right.
Okay,
Friedel,
and Josh is still playing.
And Chess Panda won the game with his knight on
f5. Where's Josh got his bishop trapped. Oh.
Really?
Oh.
That's not going to be so good, is it?
No, this is losing now. Yeah. Yeah, he was drawing that for sure. But Black wanted to play king h5, I guess. He played bishop g4, but now he's losing the king upon endgame.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Yep. Yeah, and e4 wins easily because white's pawn's on h4. He might win another way, but I know e4 wins. After e4 takes, if white's pawn was on h2, that would be a draw. But what's on h3 or h4, it's losing. Wow, so this guy's bishop trapped. Okay, the unnecessary h5. Oh, I see why he played h5. After e4 takes h5, white can maybe draw that position.
Yeah.
Maybe. But no. He can't. But yeah. Okay, so Josh ended up going down in that bishop ending, which turned into a king and pawn ending.
Yep. Let's see what else we got. We got Jeffrey Xiong playing against Izoria. That's a pretty interesting looking game.
Yeah.
As well as this Conrad Holt versus Naroditsky game, which is still of interest to me. I'm going to keep my eye on that. I mean, Conrad still seems to be incredibly better in that game, but we'll see. Should still be interesting.
Let's see.
What's Izoria up to here? He's got doubled rooks on the b4 pawn. He's got queen on h3. So his dream would be white plays e3.
I like Azoria's position. Wow.
And given that we're commentating, e3 knight f3 seems plausible.
Yep. Well, if it's black's move, is it knight g4 just crushing?
Is it black's move? It's white's move.
No, I know, but that's a big threat. I mean, knight g4 looks really strong.
Okay. Maybe he'll have to play f3 then. But then...
Well, I mean...
then Ben will be mad.
Sometimes I'm kidding, but man, f3 here is harsh. Oh, I mean, you might have to play f3, but you can't play f3.
F3, black might be able to win with f5. So, I don't know.
That's possible and likely.
Yeah.
Maybe Jeffrey's just dead here. I don't know.
Well, that would be kind of a surprise to
Could just
him.
be dead. Yeah.
Because I mean,
Azoria's a really strong player, but Jeffrey with white, I'm not expecting him to lose to anybody.
Because black basically played a super delayed Benoni, so I mean, I'm sure he won't be expecting to lose the game. Okay, pawn takes g6. So he's allowing knight g4, but presumably has some kind of tactics when he trades pawns here. Knight g4 threatens check and mate, so...
I mean, you could take on f7, and if you play king takes, I have queen f4 and queen f3.
Yeah.
But if I...
And if you play king f8...
Exactly. Yeah, knight g4 probably wins, but there was nothing to do. And I'm assuming just black taking back wins, hg or fg. And I'll play knight g4 later.
Mm-hmm. Well, if knight g4 wins, though,
I think everything wins.
You just want to play it and let white have a check.
Yeah, that's a pretty big upset. Winning with black against Jeffrey Strong.
Wow. Yeah.
That's going to be a big upset. Okay.
The hammer tells us that on knight g4, there could be a defense with e3, so that on check h2, h1, the king can come to e2, but then black does have queen takes e4 and keeps an extra piece.
Looks good to me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how GMs calculate at 4 a.m. in Norway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure taking on g6 also must win. So, yeah. This looks just terrible. All right, is anybody in horrible time trouble? It looks like this Tukopen Zhu Jiangyu game with two strong grandmasters. The Chinese player has only seconds left, and he's down a pawn. So...
All right, and we haven't seen Xu Xiangyu play yet, so let's see what this guy's made of. Board 3, grandmaster.
But yeah, I mean, he wants to play Rook d2. That's a very serious threat.
Yeah. That's what I'd want to play too.
I don't know. I could play Rook e2 and King g2, and I'm up a pawn. h6 is hanging. Well, it just looks good for white. I think Rook e2 is very solid. Yep, that's what he played. Hard to stop that. Yeah, this looks good for Stukopen.
So maybe Rook d3. He's too fast for me.
We're too good. Yeah.
So idea is to try and play like e3 and just open up lines against the white king.
No, I want to play King g2. So
right. And then I'll play e3, and then you'll play maybe f3.
Never play f3.
The move you claimed you would never play, but
that's right.
You don't really want me to play bishop e4.
No, e3 was nice, yeah.
Yeah. He wants to do something, because at the moment, the white bishop on b3 is not placed the best, so black wants to try and get something going here.
I'm not sure what black does now, because if bishop e4, king f2 defends the pawn, and if you take on e3, I can play like bishop f7, I guess. That looks tough.
Wait, sorry. How's that?
Maybe you could play bishop e4 check. I'm looking at bishop takes e3, bishop c2, bishop e4 check.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
And then king f1. Yeah. Okay, so he let him play king f2 and defend his pawn. Now white's have two pawns, and black just defended against h6, and
that feels very unconvincing after like bishop d4 or something, and then resigns.
Yeah, this has to be winning for white now.
That's the end of this.
Yeah, black has no time. He's down 2 pawns, and it looks like white's consolidated. Okay, and let's see who else has no time.
All right, who else has no time? Tell me.
The Nihua position's interesting.
Okay.
Against Yannick Kambrath.
Okay.
And that guy's name is YCam78 against Nihua. They both have very little time. Position is really interesting, but unfortunately, white has more time than black, and black has pinned and his pawns are hanging. He's a pawn up right now. So it might be a tenable position, but maybe with the time situation, he's going to get in trouble.
Right.
And Black's rook is purely defensive.
If white wanders off with queen a5, then black has e3. So it makes sense to stay active. Right. This name Cambrath is familiar to me. I mean, now he's playing for the Ospreys, but I feel like he may have played for a team in Europe last year. Maybe one of the French teams, Caen or Marseille.
So if Nihua doesn't trade queens here, then black's going to get your e3 move in, I think.
Yeah, I don't see a good queen move that covers e3.
But maybe after e3, I just play rook e2 and I say, so what? So maybe that's okay. Yeah, so he played queen b5, and after e3, he'll play rook e2.
And then he'll still be quite all right.
Looks good for white because black's queenside pawns are pretty weak. He might hang queen e8 mate. We see a lot of mates in one.
We do.
Is he going to hang queen e8 mate? No, he checked him, so he didn't do it. It's check. It's check.
Maybe next game.
He could hang a next move. He could do it.
Greg's correcting me that Cambrath was playing for Rio Grande last year as well. So.
Okay. Well, 15 seconds, and he stopped the mate in one. That's good.
Stopped the mate in one.
But yeah, this is already better for white, and the time situation is not good. Although Nihua also has very little time on his clock.
Right. I was just looking at queen c6, trying to creep in would normally be strong, but queen c7 check would have traded to the rook endgame. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking with perfect play, probably black has enough to draw, but queen h5 check. Queen h5 check.
Oof. That's our theme, queen h5 check.
Yeah, then after g6, queen h6, it looks over.
Yeah, so queen h5 would have to be king to g8.
Oh, he just took. Didn't like my queen h5 check.
Yeah, he's like, that move's not that good.
I don't know. I still like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is going on?
I don't know if he didn't see it, but it looked really good.
What is going on?
Queen d6. Come on, play queen h5 check.
Why is he not playing queen d4? Why are they dancing around queen h5?
That I don't get, I must admit. Yeah.
I looked at the clocks expecting that they had 2 seconds each based on these incomprehensible but very fast moves, because they played it really fast too. It's not like he even thought about queen h5. He was just like, I'll play some other move. Yeah, queen d6. Now I'll take the d pawn. But they actually have like 15 or 20 seconds, which is almost cushy compared to some of our time scrambles.
I mean, this should be winning for white. White's king is pretty safe with the rook on e2. White has 2 passed pawns, but time situation, anything can happen. And white's technique is not exemplary, that's for sure.
So far not. I mean, queen h5 had to be right.
Yeah. So queen c2 looks good. Okay, he played it.
Nice, Ben. I didn't see that, but I get it now. You're cutting the black king off from blockading your pawns, right?
You defend everything. Yeah.
Man.
Okay, 4 seconds for black. Yeah, this isn't good with 4 seconds. No, it's not good.
Not good enough.
Ooh, b3. That's mean. It's hard to play black there. He'll play queen a2.
Yeah, that's annoying. Oh, queen a2. The evil.
Yeah. He might play b5. He might think about it.
He might even have b5.
He might. No, he doesn't want to give his pawn away. I agree.
g4? How did black allow g4? And I guess g4 is no good.
What? Matt Larson would have played g4 to second, but he moved Harry.
What's wrong with g4, Ben?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
G4 was good. Yeah, they both got seconds on their clock, so the truth hurts. Wow, queen b5, letting that a pawn go. Wow.
What?
Here comes the a pawn.
What is this? What is this?
He's playing for check.
He's playing for check.
4 seconds for white. 3, 2. Wow. Jeez. That's crazy. Both sides have 4 seconds. Wow, what a blunder. He didn't play queen b7 check. Come on, man.
What?
Oh, now it doesn't matter. Yeah.
No.
Wow. That's tough when you have no time. Man. Oof.
Okay.
What a crazy game.
Not the finest endgame I've ever beheld.
Okay, and Tukopin did win that 2 pawns up against Zhu Jiangyu.
Okay, I'm checking in on Holt and Naroditsky again.
Man, so am I.
That match is still tied 5.5, 2.5. But here's some action. Something's getting chopped. Something else is getting chopped. Looks like Naroditsky found a pretty simple tactic.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to improve It's going to improve his position by a couple pawns.
So black's up a pawn.
Yeah.
Black has a great knight on e5. Black has a great rook on c2.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a lot better than it was.
Wasn't that dramatic? We got there just in time for that.
Yeah.
So basically, the tactic was a discovered attack on the C file. For those of you who like names for your tactics, he goes B4 here. He's got this hidden latent attack of the rook on the bishop, and when the knight moves to E2, he trades one off because his bishop on A6 is just complete garbage. So honestly, that's about as good as winning a pawn is trading that bishop. Takes E6, and that knight sack is what opens up the file.
Now in the Jeffrey Zhang Azoria game, Jeffrey gave up a piece to
not get mated.
And so he's down a piece. Both sides have 2 minutes.
In fact, exactly the tactic that our gnomish friend suggested to us. The king comes out after F3.
Compensation. Should just be an easy win for black.
Yeah.
It's sort of a surprising result.
Yeah, I gotta say. Xiang is strong. So, yeah.
Yeah, that almost rhymes. Maybe it does.
Yeah.
Okay, what else is going on? Sargsyan squeezing Brown, but they both have tons of time. Let's see. That's all crazy. Somebody won by resignation.
We got Margvelashvili playing against Dreyev.
Oh, wow. Look at this queen trap. Joshua Shang, I didn't like his position so much, but he trapped his opponent's queen, and then I liked it. Okay. So Joshua beat Bryce Tiglin. That's sort of a mild upset.
Oh, it's already over?
Yeah, he trapped his queen. Yeah, the truth hurts.
All right.
His queen went awry and astray.
Drink, everybody.
Yep. Okay.
They're playing a game where when you say the truth hurts, they have to drink.
Yeah. That's going to be a lot of drinking going on.
Yeah. All right. So I can't get to that. I could get to Smirnov versus Friedel. Looks like another Breyer.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Yeah, so I won't bore you with that. Let's see what else we got. I mean, it does have the big block of pawns in the center, which is pretty exciting. But...
Now, if you want to be bored, there's Ivan Kuz game against Andrei Gorovets.
Okay.
Now, are you going to predict draw in that game, or do I have to predict it?
Let's see.
Now, that's a draw.
Wait, I need the knight 8700.
It's the most drawn position. Yeah, knight 8700 chess trails. Now, the game ended in a draw before.
The game ended in a draw. I clicked on it, and it refused to load because they'd already agreed to the draw.
It was too drawn, yeah.
So your prediction held.
Well, that was the most drawn position ever. Kirilla's up a piece against Foizor. They both have a minute and change, but it doesn't matter. A minute and change is plenty. And a lot of changes in Jeffrey's game. Did Azoria hang a rook?
I don't think so. He still got a rook on A3.
Yeah, what are you going to do? King G7, Queen B2 check. The truth hurts.
Pack it up, I guess.
You got to play knight D8.
Knight D8 to sack the knight instead.
Jeffrey's winning. Jeffrey's going to win.
Well, that's a shocker. What happened?
Wow,
here?
what a blunder. He has to play knight D8.
Queen F4. He played rook takes A3. That was his blunder?
Wow.
That's not a very deep blunder.
He's got to play knight D8. Now, this has to be winning. Black's king is so exposed. Yeah. And white's pawn structure is so nice.
Yeah.
Wow, what a blunder. I don't see the win, but it just feels like it should be winning.
Yeah.
I mean, Black has counterplay with rook A2 check.
He does.
I don't want to play rook B2, but I might anyway.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think you might want to play rook B2.
I don't know. I don't want to. Okay, he played queen B6.
Yeah. A rook A2.
Yeah, then you can't play rook B2 because the queen takes queen.
Yeah.
So you play king F1. And if queen G3, he's calculated queen E6 is winning. I have to agree. White's getting there first.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the rook and pawn ending is probably winning because he's up a pawn. Black has 3 isolated pawns.
Oh, yeah.
Strong. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know anything about rook and pawn endings, but that one's a win for sure. It's the only thing I know about them.
Wow, amazing. Wow, what a blunder. Yeah, just as I was saying, I can't believe Jeffrey Zhang's losing with white, and then
he wins with white. So
yeah, that's why. Okay, let's quickly go to Holt
but
versus
we can't quite say that this game restores your faith in like everything being in its correct order.
What's going on in Holt Naroditsky? Who's better? Who's going to lose on time? What's happening?
Still fighting to get his stuff out. I need an adult.
I think Holt's going to win.
Still fighting to get out.
I think Holt's going to win. 25 seconds. He's getting attacked. He's only up 2 pawns.
Right.
Is 2 pawns enough? Unless Naroditsky wins his queen with knight F7. Okay,
well, no,
so
I mean, he's going to trade on E6, right?
Could take the rook. Yeah, that gets his queen out. Okay, he did.
Yeah. And then the game is pretty close.
Whoa,
Pretty
whoa,
close.
What's happening?
He's
Whoa.
checking him. He's checking him.
He just hung a rook. He hung his rook on a7.
Yeah.
That's over.
Oops.
It's over. He's got nothing.
Oops.
He just didn't see queen d4 check. Wow, what a blunder.
That was pretty sneaky of Danya.
Man, these highly rated players are always winning somehow. I don't know how they do it. They lost and they win anyway.
Oh man, queen checks are pretty hard to follow.
It's resignable now. Wow.
Yeah,
wow, what a blunder.
That's got to be that.
You know what I say? Never play f3. Now you know why. Rawr.
As far as I can tell, my entire spreadsheet of scoreboards has disappeared. So
Yep. Wow, so
I'm not
Naroditsky
worried
turns
about
it
that for a
around and
moment.
beats Holt. Knight g4. He's so mean. Look at that move. He's the meanest guy ever. G3. Is there a stalemate? Let's see. Yeah, queen f3, rook h8, and queen c8. There's a stalemate coming. 15 seconds. This isn't over. This isn't over yet. He found a stalemate.
Okay. What if
He's
he
not
just
moving. Naroditsky's not moving.
What if Naroditsky just moves his queen somewhere?
That's what he just did, but he did it with 9 seconds left.
Okay.
Look at that stalemate trick.
Yeah.
Nice try.
I see it, but I mean, he certainly can't play pawn takes knight, queen g4, king moves, rook e2.
Not yet.
So,
nope. Yeah, he had the one stalemate trick. Now he has checkmate tricks, although I don't see them. Yeah, there's no checkmate.
oh, rook e2 is the nicest way to mate. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and he wins on time. Wow.
Yeah.
But he got a stalemate trick, and that's good. Good for the crowd.
Yeah, it was good.
And
Zori's got 3 seconds in this rook end game.
So Kirilla beat Foizor.
Xiang 18. That'll be the better
And
of it.
Jeffrey's completely winning. And let's see. I guess when Jeffrey wins, we can look at Drea versus Mark Velashvili because there's a huge time discrepancy and a very interesting position too.
All right, there we go.
And
We're
Jeffrey
going there.
did win. Okay, Jeffrey won the game. Wow, Zoria's not going to be happy with that.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's better in Mark Velashvili's game. I just know who has more time. But I guess Black's better because of that big hole on d5. The d pawn's weak. I don't think White's checkmating Black, so probably Dreev's better also.
So Dreev's better here? Wow. White
I
got the
think so.
White got the whole clamp, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but d4 is weak. My bishop's great. I have 2-1 on the queen side. Yeah, I think you have too much of a clamp. I think you give up the d5 square. And now look at the time situation. You just can't do that. You can't have these situations where you have no time, especially against Dreev. All right, so he's playing for mate. Rook h1, checkmate.
Rook h1. So just play king g7 so you always have rook h8, right?
Yeah, he might do that.
Just keep that in your back
I don't
pocket.
really see an attack anyway without the white queen getting in there. What is he going to do? Yeah, he just played a5. He's like, you have no attack.
Whatever. Put a rook on h1 and then maybe I'll defend.
Yeah, maybe. Right. Yeah. Wow, 35 seconds. Yeah, that's harsh. Okay, so 35 seconds is by far the least amount of time. And let's see, that ending's not very interesting. This looks like the top boards are starting to play each other. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that is the time of night we're getting to. We're getting to some like board 1 against board 2s and so forth. Okay, so Danya won. That was huge. Jeffrey won. So that kept that match actually balanced overall. Friedel and Smirnov looks like it came out in Smirnov's advantage here. Unless Friedel's got a tactic here. But he needs something before that knight gets to f6 or d6.
That's right, yeah.
If he gives White a chance to play your losing f3 move, then White will be winning.
I was just going to move my king somewhere. But yeah, maybe f3 safer. Okay, knight g5.
There we go. That'll keep the knight out of d6 and f6. That's what he needed.
See. Yep, yeah, that seemed like the best move.
That's what he needed. Okay.
Might still lose, but it's the best move.
Right.
No, Josh has good drawing chances here.
Yeah, he just needs time to trade that knight and then play queen b5. And then
now,
pretty much got equality.
Let's look at Sarkisian versus Michael Brown.
Sure.
Michael q2, d5,
yep,
Armakiva.
I had that one ready too.
Yeah, so it looks pretty equal,
yeah.
but the time on the clock doesn't look equal.
Earlier Michael Brown had an isolated d pawn.
Right.
Which was like looking like Sargsyan might try and torture him with that, but it looks like he arranged.
Yeah, Queen C6. I mean, it looks like a drawn position, but the problem is 25 seconds to 5 minutes. That's a problem.
Okay. Is that a problem even in such a solid position?
I think so. So after rook e5, can I get away with b4? I can, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah, that's actually... I'm going to change my mind. Yeah, I think I would play b4. But yeah, I mean, rook b6 also draws.
After rook e5?
Yeah, b4 if you take rook c4.
Why not play like rook b6 first and then play b4 once your rook's in position?
No, well, then I could play rook e4 after rook b6. Okay. And then play rook b4 and try to torture you.
Okay.
Yeah, this is going to be torture because he doesn't have any time on his clock.
Yeah, I see. It's
torture. Yeah, b4 doesn't really trade everything either. Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, then he can play rook c2, and after rook a5, rook a4, white can't move anything. So that's why she should play rook. He did play rook c2. Very nice. He has to play rook a5 and take on a4, and black should draw that.
Oh yeah, the rook on a4 never won anything.
Terrible. Yeah, but he has to be careful. Don't play king f6 and I'll rook check and rook b6. So he's just going to chill.
Patient. Good.
Till the next episode. Yeah, just move his king back and forth. And if Sargsyan runs this king up, he can take on f2, and that's a draw also.
Yep.
But that's what Sargsyan has to do. He has to try to win somehow.
Try that at some point.
That's what he's doing.
All right, he didn't really hesitate too long to do it. So now he's got to save his g pawn. That's a little too much to say.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of king d3. That's he played it way too fast. Also, he should have thought there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a drawn position for sure. But can Brown do it in 15 seconds?
I don't know.
And Mark Velashvili has 12 seconds, and you're not going to like his game anymore. Don't look. Ooh. Man, the attack is going in black's favor. So Andreev has a winning position, and he has more time. But somehow the king side got opened, and it went to Andreev's favor. He's got doubled on the f file. The knight is pinned, and white just has no counterplay, and he has no time.
But didn't you say this was always Andreev's favor?
Yeah, but we thought that white's attack was his only hope. Yeah. But instead, black got the attack.
Yeah.
I think I can play bishop g5 if I'm calculating right. Am I calculating right?
Probably. I mean, he could play bishop h6, so why couldn't he play bishop g5? It's like
bishop g5.
Here, maybe without my g pawn, this will work out. No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, the truth hurts. Somebody take a drink.
All right, the scores are up, Ben, and we can see that Dallas still holds a 2-point lead over the Hackers going to the last round.
4-4, 7-5. Yeah, 5-4. The Kangaroos are ahead. Wow.
Yep, Kangaroos 5-3 over the Rats.
They're hopping mad from last week.
And the 0-2 Ospreys are holding the Pandas 4-4 to a tied match. Whew.
Yeah, I thought the Pandas would. Yeah. Now, can he play bishop e5 and take advantage of more pins? I hope so.
That would be pretty sweet.
I don't know if he can do it, but if he can, then you have to do that.
Yeah, it is thematic.
You got to keep taking advantage of the same pin. He did do it. All right.
Yeah.
Bishop h6, bishop g5, bishop e5.
So.
Yeah, now probably something simple like bishop g7 and just chill.
Yeah, bishop d4 doesn't work anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, but just bishop g7 and.
But how about?
Yeah. Always play simple. Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking rook takes f3 might be kind of simple as well.
That's simple. Your simple is different than mine.
Yeah.
I'm from the south over here. We have a different simple. Yeah.
I know, but like the king can't. That's more
like blood simple. I don't know.
That's like the kind of thing you do in an endgame, right? You like go like this, then the king can't move, the queen can't move, and then.
Wow, he played bishop d4. I'm shocked.
He played bishop d4 right away?
Yeah.
The one thing I thought didn't work. Oh, because he can play rook f3 now here,
rook
right?
F3 looks pretty good.
And then queen d5, rook f2, and then take d5. Yeah. So that was the simplest.
1,000 extra pawns is good.
That was the simplest.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's what he did. And
I bet you rook takes f3 was winning.
Yeah,
I had a good feeling about it.
Now this is a lot of drinking because the truth hurts a lot.
This was rather effective. So the surfers are going to expand their lead
and white doesn't resign. Wow.
That is the first big surprise here.
Yeah, resigning is a good idea. Yeah, I recommend resigns. Okay, I think he's going to agree with me. There we go.
All right. He heard you.
He
heard you. He's like, that's enough, Ben. I heard you. I know my position's not good.
Now, we have an endgame that looks like it could be a draw, but then when you look at white's time...
So, by the way, Gabriel Sargsyan did win this rook endgame against Michael Brown.
Yeah.
So
not surprising because of the time situation.
There.
We have another rook ending where it's 11 seconds to a minute 33, and Craig Hilby and Roland Feng.
Okay.
Looks bad for Hilby. 11 seconds.
We've got a rook end game between Friedel and Smirnov up on the board for a second.
There's rook endings everywhere.
There's rook ends everywhere. It looks like Friedel's up a pawn at this point.
Friedel's a pawn up. Wow. That looks like a draw, though.
Feng is up a pawn.
Looks pretty drawn.
But also not easy to work with.
Yeah. I assume Feng would win because of the time situation, but maybe he's not winning. Maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, what else is going on? We have another rook and pawn ending. Rook and pawn endings everywhere.
Yeah.
And let's see. That game just started between Jeffrey and Danya. Board ones are playing. Board twos are playing. Holt versus Azoria. Pretty good board three matchup. Kirilla Gorovets. That's a board three? Wow.
That's a board three.
Tough board three.
Yeah.
It's rough around here. Okay, and they're trading everything in Smirnov Friedel. That's going to be drawn any second.
Okay.
There's almost nothing left.
I see a lot of stuff coming off there. C pawn's looking unhealthy. E pawn's looking unhealthy. It's
stripper chess. Everything's coming off.
Yeah.
Okay, and Hilby has 8 seconds left. And his opponent's making a lot of progress. It's not good.
Yeah, that pawn is progressing.
It's all happening.
F5 should win for Feng here.
He's just chilling.
Oh, but F5
After
there's
F5,
rook
I can
B6
check and take.
right?
Yeah.
That's the problem here. So that's
this is probably a draw. I think this is a draw with correct play. I don't think you can win. King G3, King H3 is solid.
That's not good news for him.
King G3 still. We claim a draw. He can claim a draw.
Draw.
Yeah,
repetition.
he did. And he did. Yep. Wow, that's a really nice draw for Hilby. He had no time, a pawn down. He drew anyway.
That was accurate of him. That was accurate.
Nice. Yep.
All right.
That's why he's an IM. All right.
So that's going to keep the Surfers 1 point ahead of the Sluggers going to the last round, I think. 6.5, 5.5.
Let's see. Yeah.
So other games still in this round, there'd be Rats versus Kangaroos, maybe some of those games. Friedel and Smirnov drew as expected.
Yep.
Let me see if there's any other.
Putting the squeeze on Gabuzian. That looks good for the Pandas. For some reason, Yu Yangyi's winning. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Shocking. Let's see.
So he's up 1 pawn because I guess Queen A6, Queen D1 was no good in this position here.
Trying to see if anything exciting is going on other than the time trouble.
Well, yeah. I mean, if there's something exciting, I would first look to the Rats versus the Kangaroos. Do you see any of their?
I think the Kangaroos have good winning chances in the Kobakarov versus Bakidze. Kobakarov's moving his C pawn at breakneck speed.
That it is. His king is in the place to be.
That's going to cost a rook, and Black wants to play rook C4 next move. So this looks like Bakidze is going down, and good for the Kangaroos. The Kangaroos already have a nice lead, don't they?
They do.
Yeah, they're up 2 points.
5.5, 3.5.
Yeah. So she can. I'm sorry. He can play C2 or rook C4.
Yep.
Played rook C4.
Yep.
She can't take and play King E2 because King B3, King B2 is too quick. She has to play rook A7, rook A1, but that's okay. That's just resignable. So it looks like she'll probably resign this move.
I would expect so.
There's nothing to do. Yeah.
This is several moves after where I would have resigned. So.
Wow. Man. You can't resign so early in a team tournament.
I know. Yeah. I know, but once I see like
she traded, she'll play King E2, King B3, and she'll resign. Okay. Wow. And now resign. Well, she resign. Okay, King B2, then resign. All right.
All right. There we go.
So
that game, it was hard to predict exactly what move she was going to resign on.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got?
This looks drawn. This Serrana versus Pakleza game. Rook and Knight versus Rook and Bishop. They each have a pawn. And this is the Kangaroos also.
Okay.
Looks like another half point for them. And if anybody's better, it's the Kangaroo player Serrana, but it's got to be a draw.
Okay, let me see.
It has to be a draw.
Still trying to call it up, sorry. Serrana.
Let's see. Look at all these crazy things. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be a draw. Looks like the panda is Yu Yangyi is really crushing Gabuzian. Yeah, he's up material. He has a better knight, a better queen, a safer king, but that's it. So Yu Yangyi is going to have like, what has he played every match? He's going to have like 10.5 out of 11.
He has played every match. I mean, he hasn't played all his games yet today. This is just his third
Right.
game, but he
But if
won
he
2
wins, he'll
games
have
so far
10.5
today.
out of 11, right?
He would be at 10.5 out of 11
That's
if he finished this
reasonable.
one off, and
That's
he's got
Wesley So-esque.
2 extra pawns. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is just easily winning, and wow. Let's see, and they need him because they're not winning this match like I thought they would.
No.
Let's see, Naroditsky Xiong just started a little while ago. Yeah, that match just started with the top boards all playing each other. The San Jose match with Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, what's the score of that match? Dallas is up by 2.
Yeah.
And so they should be pretty happy.
We've got a heavyweight matchup between Stu Kopen and Ni Hua in the Rio Grande third round match against the Pandas.
That seems like a lot of opening theory they played also.
Bishop's opening Berlin defense, says the Chess.com server today.
Berlin defense, very
Bishop's
suspicious.
opening, C6, D5. You never knew there was this other Berlin, did you?
No, I knew there was C6, D5. I never heard it called the Berlin defense.
Right.
Yeah.
The knight trade on E4.
Well, if you play the Berlin defense, you should play a novelty on move 9. I don't know if he did.
Yeah.
So black played F6, so obviously white's going to win.
Okay.
This seems nice for black because it's pretty symmetrical, except white has these pawns on the queen side that aren't very nice.
You just said that white was going to win.
Right. It seemed I didn't say that he had a good position. I just said he's going to win because black played F6. So maybe white will play F3 and equalize the position later. It's his only hope.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, this seems just like black is better.
The split pawns are...
Yeah, black is just better here.
Yeah. White's compensation would potentially be some control on the D file. Like, if you can make it so that black can't move the knight to attack your C pawn without allowing some kind of rook D7 move, that can keep you in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe knight H4 to F5 would go along with threats on D6 and D7.
Now I'm getting stuck on this Sabina game with Ivan Ka because Sabina sacked a piece and took black's queen side. So black doesn't have a queen side.
He just doesn't have one.
There's no queen side.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the last person to sack a piece or recommend it, but I like white.
Right.
Yeah, I like all those pawns. She can win an exchange.
Usually before taking a rook on E8, I'll play a move like bishop C6 so my opponent knows that
just
my bishop...
who's the boss.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, and this is very important actually because all these games are important. Australia has a 3-point lead against Vegas, which really surprises me.
Yeah,
but the other matches are very close. And even though Dallas is up by 2 points, San Jose with that Grandmaster lineup on the top 3 boards, that can change in an instant. Mm-hmm. So every board is really important here in all the matches.
Yeah. So would you prefer Sabina or Ivan here?
Definitely Sabina.
Definitely Sabina. I mean, she did allow this whole diagonal blockade thing now. I really don't think I would have taken that rook. I mean, people may have thought I was just joking. I sort of was, but I also wouldn't have taken it.
Yeah, but I still like all those passed pawns.
Okay.
I like it. Go Sabina, the U.S. women's champion. And I was the first person to buy her a drink after the tournament. All right, so Yu Yangyi's opponent is trying for perpetual, but it's not going to happen.
Because on knight F6, he's got queen takes knight.
Yeah, so Gabuzi and Yu Yangyi is going to end pretty soon because here comes black on the king side, and it's harsh.
Yeah,
it's not good. E3 is coming, H4 is coming, mainly E3 is coming. Probably knight D2 is going to be winning also. Yeah, it's not good. So 10.5 out of 11. Wow. And they still haven't wrapped the match up. They didn't win last week.
No.
So it's a team tournament. You need more than just a board one.
Well, it looks like Sabina broke the blockade.
Yeah. Oh wow, that game. Wait, that game ended. Oh, okay, that game ended in checkmate.
Xu Xiangyu versus Cambrath.
Oh man, that's right. And guess what? The losing move that Black played was F6 hanging checkmate.
F6 hanging
Hanging
checkmate.
checkmate.
In his defense, wasn't every move hanging checkmate at this point?
Possibly. Well, I mean, I can stop checkmate.
Yeah.
I just, probably not a good
G6,
position.
G6.
2 knights beating 2 bishops. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't see
Yeah.
that
Whenever
as often.
F6 allows checkmate, it's something's going right. Okay, what's going on in these games? Okay, so Yu Yangyi did play E3. Okay, and White threatened mate in 1. Gabuzian threatened mate in 1 against Yu Yangyi.
That was sneaky. It's long range.
Yep.
He played E3 instead of Queen F2. Because the Queen on A7 was covering it. Okay, so that's how it got here. So now, Queen F2 check is possible, but he still has to come up with his defense to mate.
Yeah, very nice. Queen A1.
That move's actually annoying.
Know how to fight. Yeah.
That move would work against me.
Nice. Yeah, if you play King H3, I can check and go to E5. So you play King H1.
Definitely. Check Queen here.
No, this isn't easy. Checkmate's a serious threat.
Yeah.
Now, can I make a run for it? Can I play King H6?
King H6.
Let's
Queen
make
G7,
a run for it.
King G5. That doesn't look too bad for your health.
Yeah, make a run for it. Yeah.
You could even try and run all the way to H3, which is the classy way to win a game.
Yeah, but I don't see how White has more checks after King G5. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did do that. So for once I was right. I get right once a day. Sometimes twice a day. They call me the clock. The broken clock. Okay, so Yu Yangyi's going to win because he found King H6.
Mm-hmm. You also said that he was going to win on the previous game in the previous game.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing dramatically changed. Can he just keep going with this king? Just head for H3. I guess I guess E2 is another way to do it.
Yeah, I think everything wins.
Okay.
He can play the good old everything.
The good old everything.
Yeah,
always
good old everything
wins.
Yep. There's too many winning moves.
Check out this Nihua game against Stukopin. You see that Nihua has made a bunch of pawn moves on the king side.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm feeling like it's really hard to show an advantage for him at this point. So anything he tries to do to attack pawns on the queen side, something's going to go wrong on the king side.
Right, yeah. The whole 7th rank is open, so I'll take White if I have to take a side here. White's king is much safer in the long run.
Right.
Yeah. And both sides have 3 minutes, so it'll be fun for everybody.
You could even start thinking of knight h2 and g4 in this kind of position. I mean, you can start undertaking something as White.
Let's see what's super exciting. Super exciting. So he did play King
I'm
G4.
checking in on Ruotong's Queen Endgame, if we can get a quick read on that. Mm-hmm. It's equal material. She's giving some checks with her queen. She's playing Grandmaster Carlos Hevia. So far today, she lost both games against Grandmasters.
That's correct.
So she didn't have the same kind of crushing outing that she had in her first match. But this game looks like it's going okay for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this has to be a draw because if I try to run out to E7, then I play Queen B7 check, Queen D7, Queen E4 check, and win the H pawn. Then White's winning. So he can't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to be careful about sacking the H pawn in a position like this.
Oh, King E7, Queen B7, he's in trouble. Yeah, because A pawn's hanging. No, that was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, a Queen E4 check. He can take on B3. So then everybody's going to queen? Man, but if I queen, your king's no good. I don't know. I think this is good for White.
Mm-hmm. It seems like it should be slightly better for White.
I think it's good for White, but I'm not sure.
Also because White probably re-centralizes with Queen E4 first, right? After they each capture the pawn.
Yeah, and if you play C3, I have Queen D3. Yeah, this is good for White, taking on the H pawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd rather have White there.
You know what's probably bad for White is Queen E6 check.
That's bad. Yeah. That's right.
Because the black king gets out there first, and black's got to pass pawn on the queen side. So
yep, she took on h7.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't want to draw, so he's going all out for the win.
Yeah, that's right.
And sometimes that's also going for the loss.
And she is down to 36 seconds. So,
well, now the h pawn's not as strong. He could play king f8 here and stop the h pawn.
Right, but this way she got her queen centralized again. If the king runs to the h pawn, maybe she can threaten mate somehow.
Yeah, but okay, he played queen e6.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
Yeah, I don't like queen e4 check. I would have played h5. Push that h pawn.
So king f3 might be playable now. Okay, back and forth they go once.
Yep, king f8. This is looking really tough for white now. Yeah, I don't like queen e4 check.
Huh. Okay.
All right, so yeah, I mean, I'd rather have black here because that c pawn's strong. The h pawn stopped, and obviously with the time situation.
But you know, if she hadn't played queen e4, I don't think it was so easy for her to play that position. Because if she just goes h5, you know, Hevia gets queen d5 check. She has to move the king somewhere, like, you know, h2 or whatever, and then he plays queen f3 maybe. I don't know that white would have such a good position there.
Yeah, that's also possible. The queen on h7 is misplaced.
All right, so the king comes around to g7. Very passive queen f3 move. I would have wanted to leave her queen on e4 and play something like king f3.
Yep. No, this is going to be lost. No.
Oh. So she's going for g5. She's going all out on the king side. If she didn't have 8 seconds, or let's say if he had 8 seconds as well, I would say it was an anything goes position.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to Stukopin and Nihua. They both have a minute, although I guess Nihua has about 2 minutes. And white sacrificed a pawn maybe, and he's crashing through everywhere. But now black's crashing through with his c pawn. So I'm very confused as to who's better here. I don't know who's better.
Wait, why did white sack their pawn?
A good question.
What?
Yeah, c5, b takes c5. Let me go back to that.
What were they gaining from this move?
C5. Well, I mean, okay, black's going to play rook takes c4, so I guess it's a goner anyway. So, okay, that seems reasonable.
I guess so. I mean, you could play knight. Oh, you can't play knight d2 anymore.
No, yeah. Okay, so all 3 results are possible, but this seems to have gone in black's favor. He got a lot of pressure on the c3 pawn, and white just chucked it.
And this knight's about to come in.
Yeah. The knight on a5 is trapped. Yep, things turned around this game. Stukopin has a lot less time. And this match could turn around.
And the Pandas just started taking the lead for the first time. I mean,
if they win this game, 7-4.
Yu Yang Yi won the game, as you said he would. So if Nihua wins this, suddenly they'll be up 7-5 going to the last round. Assuming that Ruotong will lose this queen ending. Actually, she's played it a little bit more safe now. She eliminated the passed c pawn.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Where'd it go? Okay, so 6 seconds.
Safer, Ruotong.
Man, this is good drawing chances, but not with 5 seconds on your clock.
No.
What's going on?
Would that I knew.
Exactly. Okay, what's going on there? Nothing.
King takes f5.
Nothing's going on anywhere.
Nothing's going on anywhere. No.
Well, wait a minute.
I hardly believe that.
Now, I don't count pieces well, David.
Yeah.
However, in the game Gorovets-Karilla, it seems like white has more pieces.
Okay.
Now, this is not Karilla's match. I mean, what's happening here? Why does white have an extra knight? Now, this is Chess Trails versus the Dictator.
Yeah.
Well, what's happening?
All right.
Wow. Okay, so
Chess Trails versus the Dictator.
Win that game.
Well, the last time we had something like this, the player who was down a knight managed to play queen takes h1 and come back, but not this time.
No, it can't happen every game. Okay, Stukopin has 7 seconds left, and it looks like he's losing.
Yeah,
although somehow Nihua trapped his own queen. Or maybe it doesn't matter. I'm so confused.
He does have kind of a Fisher random queen there.
Yeah, what's happening here?
But the pawn on c2 is pretty good. He might have 2 queens, so he's like, I can put one on g7.
Yeah, he's fianchettoing his queen, but I don't know why.
Yeah. King e7.
Yep. Rook takes d4. Is there perpetual chances? The answer is no.
Was there some problem with like? Oh yeah, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so Nihao is going to wrap this up.
So you can play C1 here with check. Take it.
By the way, Rutong lost on time.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
how we
not having a great week this week.
Black up 2 pawns at that point. Yep. So they really need Nihua to convert this. He's got 19 seconds. That rook c7 seems solid. King f7 is right. And then king g8 to h7. And then he'll resign. All right.
Yep.
So that clarifies that. The Kangaroos...
So king e7, then ran back to h7. That's the technique.
Kangaroos took a big lead. 7.5, 4.5. All right, so now we know how round 3 has ended for every team. We've got some leads here. We've got 2 points for the Pandas, 3 points for the Kangaroos, 1 point for the Surfers, and 2 points for the Destiny. So now let's see what the Destiny has.
Well, Naroditsky is squeezing Jeffrey Zhang.
Naroditsky.
Who would have thunk it?
Well, Naroditsky took a little bit to get warmed up this year in the league. But today he's got 2 wins and 1 draw. That's not so bad. That's not so bad. All right.
This is amazing. In Sabina's game with Ivan Kud, the pawns are all gone, and Black just seemed to blunder. And now material is like equal, but I think White's winning on the king side.
In which game?
Yeah, in Sabina's game.
I found it.
Yeah. This totally changed what was happening. White was trying to get 3 queens on the queen side.
Yeah.
Now White has a mating attack.
Right.
And the queen side just doesn't matter anymore.
That's that famous thing, conversion of one advantage to another or whatever, right? But can Black play rook a8 and avoid mate?
He better. But then queen b5 has to win, yeah?
Yeah.
Then if I get my bishop to f6, that's not good.
But it's not yet too late to avoid the checkmate. The checkmate threat is bishop g5, everybody. And then
bishop g5 is pretty good.
Just drawing it out with arrows. So rook to a8 seems to be the only real move to stop that. I guess there's pawn h6 and then pawn to g5, and that didn't help. So, oh no, h6, g5, h5. I guess
h6 I take it.
Oh yeah, let's
then if you take queen h8 and f4 mate.
La 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 la. That is pretty. Let's draw.
Yeah, but he played rook a8, so I assume queen b5.
So rook a8, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
unless queen a8 was good, but it wasn't. Okay, queen a4 also looks good.
On bishop takes b6, the plan is rook takes b6.
And c3, bishop g5. I knew that bishop was going f6.
Yeah, it seems like
that's tough when that bishop gets there.
Seems like nice to get that in there. Just
and the queen's good on a4 as opposed to b5 because we can swing with queen f4.
Oh my!
That's good swinging.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Black should always play bishop f8, but Black can't follow my rules here, so it's not good.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I think Black, could have been looking for some chance to play bishop takes b6, and then, takes and takes and takes and try and push the c pawn. But
let's see.
Yeah,
Azuri has 1 minute to 5. Seems like he's better.
All right, let's find Azoria.
Daniel is squeezing Jeffrey.
He's playing Conrad.
Yeah.
He's playing Conrad.
Yeah, Azoria's down 5 minutes to 1. It's not good, but I like his position.
Yeah, Conrad needs to get that knight to d6 in 1 move.
Man, Dram's playing Sargsyan. I'm trying to figure out who's more solid. Wow. Those are 2 pretty solid players.
Those are 2 pretty solid players. Right now, Sargsyan's using the nice solid maneuver here. Bishop on e8. Very pleasing piece.
And we have the rhyming pairing between Joshua Shang and Roland Feng.
I think Dreev's got some pressure.
Yeah?
I think he's got a little something going here.
Something going on.
Yeah.
The question is, can Naroditsky squeeze Zhang in this pawn-up endgame? Can he do it?
Well, the presence of opposite-colored bishops does not help. I would say the chances are a bit low.
Yeah, you think Jeffrey can hold it?
Yeah.
Hold it all together. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, he's trying to do some kind of a something, but...
So Ivan got his king safe against Sabina. He played h6, king h7.
Yep, he did.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game isn't over.
No.
Whenever I think they're over, they're not over. Maybe I shouldn't think that anymore.
But it looks like the Destiny have scored the first point of the round, so they increased their lead from 7-5 to 8-5. So they're like, they're like any half point away from closing out the match.
Yeah, and Australia's up 3 points as well. The Pandas are up 2 points, and San Diego's up 1 against Seattle.
So if Jeffrey could draw, or Conrad could draw. Conrad's not going to draw. The same tactic we saw earlier today. Look at this. Bishop a6, rook b7.
Oh, wow.
Bishop takes knight, and queen takes, queen takes.
Yeah, that's d-pawn was pretty strong.
d7.
Yep.
That was the problem. The knight couldn't get to d6 in one move. It took 2 moves, and it never got through b7. That's how important time is in chess. If you ever wondered, like, what is time in chess? This knight never gets to d6. Yeah. All right. You guys should all know that tactic now, trading the queen for the rook and pushing ahead.
Quick. Go to Sabina versus Ivan Key. Quick.
Okay.
Wow.
I made
What's
it.
happening?
Let's see.
What world am I in?
Queen f3, some kind of checkmate on a1. Queen can't go to d1.
Wow.
Maybe rook a6 would lead to a perpetual or even a loss after c2.
Or black could just queen. I think black's winning. I think black's winning.
Oh God, Dallas only needed half a point.
Wow. So he had the guts to take on b6, and she played rook takes b6, and he instantly played queen f3.
Yeah.
Because he knew if they traded rooks, he didn't care if...
That's what I was wondering. Is there some chance to allow this rook takes b6 move? I mean, even after rook takes b6, there could have been a weird move, pawn to c2. Look at that.
If you told me 20 moves ago, black would have a queenside pawn and white wouldn't have any... no, absolutely not.
You would have counted up the rows and asked me if I was white-black colorblind.
It's not possible. Wow, queen f3. What's happening? Who's getting mated? Is black just winning? I think black's just winning.
Conceivably.
Yeah, rook a1 mate and c2 c1. Wow. I don't see what she does here. I don't see it.
How about this? Rook a6. What do you do then?
I take it.
Okay, I recapture, surprisingly.
C2?
C2. I play queen,
queen
C8.
C8.
Queen C8.
Also, you could play queen C2 here. Also.
If I could play queen C2, I would, but I can't,
Wow.
can I?
Okay, she played rook a6.
Yeah.
Now, can I play C2 here?
Yeah, you could.
Yes. I think C2 is the right move.
You could.
If you play rook a, if you take, I take it. I'm still threatening that mate. Yeah, C2's. I think C2's winning.
That's the only
I think
way.
C2's winning. But I think white could have played queen C2. Maybe white was okay. Maybe.
Last move, queen C2?
Yeah, instead of rook B6. Yeah.
Oh, instead of rook B6?
Yeah. Queen C2 instead of that. Yeah.
Yeah. But this bishop takes B6 was brilliant by Ivan. I mean, she's been planning this rook B6 all along, and then he finds a chance where it doesn't work.
They don't have a minute left.
C2 and
Queen
Dallas
C6.
But Dallas just won the match, so it's all the bravery of Ivan is all in vain because Naroditsky just conceded that there's no way he's winning this opposite colored bishop endgame.
I think queen G4 wins. I think queen D1 wins. Yeah. Queen takes queen probably doesn't win.
But that does make the match seem really close.
Okay, he queened, and then this is winning. Yeah. Wow. But it doesn't. It's all in vain. Wow.
It's Dallas all in vain, unfortunately.
But it's a great game.
But really it is exciting. Great.
Okay, and then
that was really exciting.
Yeah. Okay,
all right.
And then Sargsyan still.
So the next match for us to really follow is Seattle versus San Diego, because that will be finishing next, everybody. So we've got board 1 here on screen. It looks like Sargsyan has mostly untangled, and Andreev gives him the draw. All right. So what?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
who's board 2 in this affair? San
Is it Mark
Diego
Velashvili and
Seattle. It
Michael?
should be
Oh,
Mark
that's the wrong
Velashvili.
match. Yeah?
Yep, you're right.
Okay.
Found it. All right. So,
These are like the two guys who are always losing on time, right? And horrible time trouble and scaring
They
us.
are.
Now they're playing each other.
Yes, and they've got 4 minutes each, and looks like they're just coming out of the opening with all their pieces on the board. And yeah, probably still a small edge for white.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Maybe more than a small edge.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, I like white. Yeah.
All right. White's going to win then?
Sure, why not?
He just offered a draw. That's not going to help him win.
White offered a draw?
Yeah.
to gain time on the clock.
I guess so. Well, now he's tied on the clock, 4-0-0 to 4-0-0.
Okay, so Sabina did lose that game. That doesn't matter for the final standing.
All right. While he thinks about that, we're going to find their third board. I think it's the nom factor.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
And Tiglon, the IM/NM.
Exactly.
Material, all equal. Black's structure feels a little more compact on the king side. Queen is active.
I don't know.
You don't know, but I don't know. Then nobody knows.
I know I'd rather be here. Confused.
Well, that doesn't help our viewers.
I guess I'd rather be the guy with 3 extra minutes,
commentators.
but I don't know which position is better. So I'll say equal.
You say equal?
Oh, wait. Unclear. That way I'm not too wrong. Equal, I'm probably wrong.
Right. Equal, like one of them might have the advantage. Unclear, it's just...
Yeah, unclear. Yeah.
My instincts are saying black. I have no idea why. That's my instinct. I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna look for board 4.
Oh, and by the way, Mark Velashvili accepted the draw.
Josu.
By the way.
Okay, good call. I mean, I think he was worse. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he had to check all the other boards in the match and see where it's at. Because the surfers are ahead by 1 point. That's the one thing I will say for the draw offer. Is it leaves them ahead 8-7 with 2 games to go. So let's see what's going on here in the board 4 matchup. Those can be volatile. We've got Roland Fang sacking 2 pawns to get 3 extra pieces developed. That should be more or less worth it.
Matchup.
Should be more or less worth it. Sheng prefers to be the one sacking stuff. I know that much. All right, knight e5, getting out of a whole bunch of threats, like knight to g5 and bishop takes f7.
Where's the compensation? Isn't black threatening the bishop and bishop g4? Man, where's the compensation for
the compensation's the development. Now white just needs to prove it somehow.
I don't know. I like black.
Okay. Fair enough.
What do you do here?
I don't know. I believe in white, and then
You
I look
do?
for something.
I'm threatening knight c4 and bishop g4.
I don't necessarily believe in white. It's just something people say.
No. Okay. Yeah.
How about rook cd1, queen c4, queen e5? I limit the damage, and I'm down 2 pawns for nothing.
Yeah. That's probably the best. That might be the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, your position's bad.
Alternatively, I do some other move and black plays bishop g4. That's not to my taste.
Looks good for Joshua.
Yeah. Okay, black's winning.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah.
No, not necessarily.
No, maybe.
Okay.
Wow, in the game Brandon Clark against Nazi Pakidze, neither side will move. That's crazy.
Neither side?
Oh, okay. Now the game just updated. I got so confused.
Okay.
They were on move 5 on my board. And I was like, why come nobody's moving? Okay. Now actually the game is really exciting.
Yeah.
So that's good.
You're right. It is.
And what is this? The Kangaroos?
It looks like another advanced Karo Khan opening.
So the Kangaroos are crushing Las Vegas, it looks like.
Nazi had a crazy advanced Karo Khan last week that ended with
That's
that
right.
knight endgame that could have been a win, could have been a loss, hinged on one tempo with the trap knight on a2.
Yep.
So
hey, and Roland Feng played like you. That's good.
Roland Feng played like me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's what we sort of expect for that position, but it's not a good sign for white on that
Okay,
one.
now what's going on in these matches? The Pandas are up by 2. Australia's
back to
up.
nom nom. The queens are getting traded.
Dallas 1 and San Diego's up by
94
1.
rook g3. I was right. I was right. Hilby wins.
What? Hilby won already?
Yeah. He traded queens and played knight e4.
Wait a minute. Let's see here.
That's going to be
Queen
it.
F4,
That's going to be the match for the
and the rook
surfers
is
here.
kept on G5. Wow.
Yeah. Right? That was pretty good.
Yep.
Rook G3, Queen F4.
So E3 is a good move.
Oh, Queen F4 was evil. If he takes it, he loses his back rank checkmate, even if he trades rooks with his rook hanging on G3.
Yeah, this is an easy win for black now.
That was evil. So he goes Queen F4, trades, traps,
So this gives San Diego the
push.
win, right? They win the match.
Yeah, they got this one.
Wow.
It's kind of in the bag now.
Yep.
He'll be coming through. How'd he score today? Let's see. I'm always curious to see if there's a third or fourth board with a huge score. That's his first win of the night, so
Wow.
yeah. So team effort for the surfers. And I guess next up is to see if these rats have any chance of coming back against the kangaroos. So,
What's the score of this match? Oh, the Kangaroos
they're
up by
down,
3.
They're down 3. So we got Friedel White against Serrana.
It's a very strange position.
Just looks like a normal Slavy kind of thing. Or Catalan. Or some queen pawn thing.
Yeah, but the queen on H7 is weird. Everything's weird.
Okay, never mind. It's not a normal one then, everybody. It's a weird one.
Yeah, the queen on H7 is very strange.
All right, we got Zbigniew playing white against Smirnov.
That's easy for you to say.
And material's equal. But white's king is a mess. Smirnov's got the C file. I would think I have to favor him.
I don't know. Thanks. Yeah. When you're right, you're right.
Was I right that time?
Pretty annoyed by that G6 pawn.
Yeah, it is. It's a bit of a problem.
I'm annoyed by it, but yeah, I think you're right. Let's see who declined to draw. So what earlier in this game, Smirnov offered a draw, I think.
Is that right?
Earlier.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, which makes sense, right? Because they're way ahead. So draw's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That draw's a good result.
Yeah. How's nom factors technique?
That's what I was just looking at. Yeah.
No hiccups yet. Solid.
So black's up a pawn, and both sides have less than a minute.
Yeah.
And San Diego needs. Oh, this is the Seattle match. I'm sorry, which is San Diego. Yeah, I'm getting very confused, especially when I'm right. Then I'm the most wrong. So San Diego needs a point, and they win the match. And this game's still up in the air, especially with this amount of time on the clock.
Yeah. Oh. Remember how we said the last game would be a long Yu Yang Yi endgame?
That's right.
Straight out of the opening, he's in an endgame with the potential to go 100 moves. Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. Right on schedule. We'll check back in on that once everyone else is done. So who else do we have? We've got Ostrowski playing for the Rats. Board 3 against Kui Bokharov. And the white king is not exactly where you normally put your king. So
Not exactly.
it looks like black's getting away with a Benoni
I think
structure.
Joshua Sheng's going to win against Roland Fang.
Do you?
Yes.
Let's see. That's what
he's
we
gonna
predicted
win.
before. He was up
He's
2
gonna win.
pawns, and
Yeah,
now he's threatening
Sheng's gonna win.
checkmate.
And that gives the match to San Diego, right?
That would give it to San Diego. They only need to win one of the 2 games they're winning.
He's
So
threatening mate in 1. It's harsh.
yeah,
I don't see what white does. Okay, he plays for tricks.
gives a check. I think you
Well,
can
tricks are
take
for
that.
good.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, there's just some random spite checks. They don't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Surfers win the match
King comes up to H3.
against Seattle.
Boldly, G5. He resigns.
Yep.
That's the match. The San Diego Surfers, sponsored by Hergiz, have taken their week 3 match.
It's funny, Dallas won a long time ago, but San Jose made it close. 8.5, 7.5.
Yeah. So the Surfers moved to 2-1. All right. And the Kangaroos have already won somehow. They got a point somewhere here.
8.5, 4.5. Wow.
Very coordinated. Nom Nom Factor just won against Lolcats. So,
yep.
So the winning point for the Kangaroos must have just come from their board 4, because I've got boards 1, 2, and 3 open here at the moment. And we're getting some draw offers. Kuibokarov has offered to draw as white here against Ostrovsky. I mean, I know the Rats have lost, but if I were Ostrovsky, I'd keep playing for fun.
You would? You wouldn't call it a night?
No, my opponent's king's on E1. I'm hoping for some fun.
Yeah, I think we've had enough fun. Time for a draw.
Seems like 95 could be a good move. Not to play it being Captain Obvious, but Clark, that's
so
the board.
We're going to have 4 decisive
Clark
results today. No drawn matches. That's good. And big fights.
Ooh, CB4 is good too. He could go for something like Rook C8, Rook C2.
No draws.
No draws today. No drawn matches.
Yep.
San Diego pulls it off. Destiny, Kangaroos.
Okay.
Chess.
Pakidze lost. So that game's over. There's not too many games left, but as you pointed out,
Right. I'm opening up Nihua's game.
Yeah. I think
Finally a Najdorf.
Yu Yang is going to have a 100-move game. That's right.
Finally a Najdorf.
Yeah. What's happening here?
I like
Looks
a good
like
old
Najdorf.
checkmate.
Yeah. Who's getting checkmated, white or black?
Both. It's a matter of order. So let's see. H3 variation. This variation is supposed to be sort of positional for white, but then he castled queenside, so then it went back to being about checkmate. Queen F3. I don't know what that was about. Plays G4, something. Whoa. Did you see the tactics on move 23? So first, black plays knight takes E4.
Wow.
Presumably the plan here is on queen takes E4 to play F5.
F5. Yep.
And then regain the piece there with a pretty active bishop pair and rook on the F file, even though the king side's not exactly black's like official side of the board to play on. He could play on it there. He'd be pretty strong on the F file. So, whoops. Sorry. Stuff happening to me.
These things happen.
All right, so knight E4. He trades on E6 first. And now if black takes back, white takes on E4 and has an edge. So black plays knight C3 check, opening the B file. That was pretty cool.
Can you quickly go to Hevia versus Zhang Yu? He just hung mate. He hung mate. Hurry. Why is everybody hanging checkmates? Queen A3, Queen A1 mate.
Whoa. Are you serious? White just played.
And he didn't hang checkmate when I told you to go to the game. I just wanted to show you the checkmate he's threatening, but he hung it.
You wanted to show me he was threatening it, and then white ignored it.
And then he hung it. So that's
7 or 8 minutes on the clock.
Wow. Yeah, he played bishop C4. I mean, I think he was losing because when he could have played B4, he could have stopped mate.
Sure, really like took his time enjoying this.
Yeah, he sat there for a while.
Queen to A3.
Wow. Yeah, C3, knight C2. That didn't work out well for white.
Carlos is swearing right now.
Wow.
For anybody who doesn't know chess players.
Wow.
He is swearing right now. That's what happens at this point.
Yeah, when David and I look at your games, you're going to hang mate. That's just the way it is.
He's like, why did they switch to my board just now?
Yeah, and that's the match, right? 8-5. I guess it's still going.
It's still going, but they only need half a point. Nihua, you know what Hovannes has done is, you know, he got really active here with Queen A5, Rook F2. He's up 1 pawn. I guess that's not enough to really matter in this kind of position. But he definitely got all his guys active, except this bishop's still looking for a target.
He knows he has to win because of the match situation before the round.
Yeah,
so Yu Yang has to draw this to make sure they win the match. Stukopin can't take a draw. He has to try to win this position that's very hard to win.
Yeah, this would be pretty hard to win.
Because I play b4 and rook d2 or knight f2. Yeah, this just looks like it's like a draw. Yeah, he played rook c4. Yeah, I mean this is just a draw, but I guess if anybody's better, it's white.
Yeah. I think white's always been slightly better.
What black can do. Yeah. So in Josh Friedel's game, it seems like is something going wrong in my board?
Oh, my game. I had it frozen, so it wasn't updating.
Yeah, mine had
it
frozen too. Okay, that's why it was so strange. Okay.
Okay, I just clicked through this too fast for everybody. I'm sorry. Because it finally started going. All right, so black played the classic c5 break in this kind of structure. e4 is played, rook b5, just chasing the queen back. And bishop f6. Because if pawn takes knight, rook takes d5, and white can't defend on d3.
Right.
And rook d5, queen c2, the rook on d8 is defended. Okay.
Man, you can see that this is Josh's first time in the league this year. He has 15 seconds. His opponent has 5 minutes. Yeah, so Josh is probably going to lose just because of the time situation.
He traded everything off, but rook d4, jeez. Queen f7, there's a desperado for you. So Josh went up a pawn for a moment, and then
he did not.
And then he did not keep his extra pawn. Oh, there went a pawn. There went another pawn.
Yeah, luckily this match is already over, so he doesn't have to feel bad.
Well, if that's the consolation, yeah.
There you go.
It's not a happy time.
That Ostrovsky game got crazy with Kubakarov.
Yeah.
Where he declined the draw. Then they have this craziness. Craziness ensued.
So he played his rook to c8 like we thought, and his knight to e5 like we also thought, and his rook to c2. But white got one rook trade off, which helps him a little bit, and now we have this mess to think about. Oh yeah, it makes a lot of sense to capture that bishop. So now his idea would be some version of pawn takes bishop, queen takes g3, but white's going to try and harass his king.
Yeah, what's happening here? I need an adult.
There's a threat on f5. There's a major threat on f5.
F5 is a serious threat.
That is not a... I'm going to deal with this tomorrow because I'm not sure of the answer threat.
I mean, you have to play g6. You have to.
G6.
You have to do it.
I don't see how g6 helps after pawn takes f5, right?
Yeah, then I could play like...
and by which I mean he'll first trade on g6 so that you can't play g takes h5, right?
Now you're talking.
e5.
Yeah, I think white's winning.
Oops, sorry.
He didn't do that, so I could take on h5 now.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it gives him this option for a moment.
Good for white. Yeah, that's what he did.
Huh. So he allowed you to take
the draw earlier, which I would have done, and you like black's doing great, and now that's a mess.
You would have taken a draw with your opponent's king on e1.
Yeah, because now look, now I'm going to lose. F6, always play F6. Ooh, that's even better. Yeah.
Let's see. He checked him with the queen there. That seemed good. Took that for free. That seemed good too.
Yeah, queen h6 is good. Taking is good. F6.
F6.
He's up a lot of pawns. I can't count that high.
Yeah.
That's what we got the crowd for. How many pawns is white up?
Well, if it takes on h5, it's 3, right? d6, also good. Yeah, so it looks like Ostrowski's going down. And what's this rook ending between the guy whose name I can't pronounce and Smirnov?
Piniolius is up on material right now.
Yeah, what's happening here? Can black draw this, or he has no hope? Yeah, I think no hope. Yeah, I'm in the no hope corner.
I don't see any hope. Nope. I don't see the hope.
Yep.
Here he's got to go king f2 instead of king to the h file in my deep analysis.
And Friedel lost on time. Yeah. Yeah, he was way behind on the clock.
Eventually lost this endgame on time. Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see.
That's a pain. Chess Panda won.
What happened? Panda won by resignation.
Yeah, yeah. E4, E5.
E4. Oh.
A little tactic. This game wasn't supposed to be over yet. G4 takes. King F6.
All the matches are over. They've been decided.
Look at this.
I have 4 games left.
Wow. But I mean, Black was under real pressure here after G4. Because his G pawn's hanging. If he goes King F8, he always has to worry about like Rook F1.
And Nihua has crashed through. He's going to win. Yep. Nihua's going to win the game against Gabuzian. Yep. That knight, or if White's king got safe and Black's didn't. So a real crushing victory in the end for the Pandas. It was close throughout, but then they took over after the second round.
Yeah, somehow he just brought that knight to E4, and that was the end of it all.
Yep. Okay, and Ostrovsky resigned, and
I like this Rook F6. That was nice. Ostrovsky, yeah, I guess a pawn queened. That'll do it. Oh, there's some kind of rook sack.
If for Tong game they're just going to agree to a draw because the match is over, because there's a ton of time in that game.
Right, these other games were finished way faster than we normally.
Yeah, so I have 2 games left. Nihua's winning, and then Rutong, and that's it. And the match is over anyway. But yeah, this is the kind of crushing performance I expect of the Pandas, because they're. And what's funny is Rutong had nothing to do with it.
This time they did it without board 4.
Yeah.
I mean, which makes sense, because part of playing the 2100 is you get to play Yu Yangyi and Nihua, and then like a 2500 rated player on board 3. So, I mean, your boards 1 and 2 are allowed to carry the match also with that strategy.
Now, am I right, David, that Yu Yangyi has 11.5 out of 12?
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's reasonable.
He's going to remain here at the top of this standing.
That's serious, very serious. Yeah. Wow. 11.5 out of 12. And 15-minute chess. That's crazy.
So of the teams that were in the lead in the league, there were the Sluggers, the Destiny, and the Pandas were 1.5, 1/2. The Destiny won, the Sluggers lost, and the Pandas win. So that means that the Destiny and the Pandas will be at 2.5 out of 3 at the top of the standings in the Pacific Division now.
Wow, Kangaroos won by 5 points. Wow.
All right.
All right, somebody has to tell these players that this match is over.
Well, okay. So first of all, Nihua won. Gabuzian resigned here as the rook comes in and he starts to get checkmated. So we only have 1 game left, but they're like 20 minutes or 5 or 10 minutes behind the other people. I guess they're just playing.
Let's see. Did they win every game? I'm getting confused. Yeah, China's 3-0 this round, right?
Oh yeah, they're 3-0 this round.
Oh wow.
So they were only up 7-5 before this.
Yeah.
But now
it's still pretty convincing.
Now it's getting a little bit out of hand.
Yeah.
10 points.
So all 3 results are possible, and the players don't want to draw and call it a day. Last year, when I beat Mamedyarov, which basically ended the match because Wesley always wins all of his games.
Yeah.
And then in the last round, we'd already won, and I offered a draw like on move 7 with White paired down because I wanted to see Wesley So play Mamedyarov.
You just wanted to watch it.
Yeah, because we already won the match. My opponent accepted, and that was one of the great games of the year. Was Mamedyarov beating Wesley So at 1,000 moves with like 3 pieces for a queen, and Wesley promoted. They're both getting mated. That was a great game. But I got to see the whole game because I drew very quickly because the match was already over.
Yeah, that game was fantastic. That was one of the games of the year.
And I got to watch the game because my game was a quick draw because we already won.
That was the first game that Wesley lost in the league, right?
Right. That he lost in the very last game to Magnus.
Yeah. That was it.
And in the interim, he won like 20 out of 21 games or something. Yeah. So is Yu Yangyi up to the task to score 95% on board 1? So position is very interesting. Obviously, the match is over, but I'm sure that Rutong doesn't want to go 0-4 today. So
same with Cambrath.
Oh, is he 0-3?
He's also 0-3 against the 3 really high-rated Chinese players.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. The Chinese 1, 2, and 3 are pretty strong. Right. And I tell you, David, when I was preparing for the broadcast, I was like, that San Jose team looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So what do I know? Yeah. White played F3. Can he get away with such indiscretions?
I don't know. It really condemns the bishop on H1 in a certain sense. To basically just looking at the G2 square and remembering how he used to have it.
Yeah.
There's a song about that, right? A square that I used to know, used to own.
Yeah. I even know the song you're talking about. Let's see. Yeah, nothing's happening. It's like the Blair Witch Project.
Still going.
Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. It's over. Yeah.
I mean, this is a Queen's Gambit structure that's been played a million times. This whole pawn on C6 kind of thing. All right, so making use of the pawn on F3. If I were black, I would just kind of leave the pawn on E4 probably. Well, I guess there's more than one good option. As she takes it. But normally when white plays E4, they're threatening to play E5, and with the knight on E5, they weren't. So black definitely had the option of just letting things sit. Yes, that was an important detail. That's why I would have left the pawn on D5, Ben.
Exactly.
Because I would have moved my knight.
Well, this is a different routong than we saw the first week.
Maybe bishop H6 is what I would have played. Now that I know the knight was hanging.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Now that you discovered it.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, there you go.
Bishop H6. That might even be a real move, you know. Oh well. Okay.
Wow. White played F3 and lived to tell.
Takes.
Yeah. Routong played really slowly this week.
Really slow.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
In time trouble. Yeah.
It was almost like a totally different player. Here,
okay, now I don't mind if white wins now because black played F6. So now I don't mind. Yeah,
they cancel out F3 and F6. And in fact, I think she has queen takes, or I think he has queen takes G6 here.
And he played it. Yep.
And he played it. So that's
3 seconds. Time to let your clock run out. That's the best.
0.5. Done.
Oh, didn't
that's the fighting spirit. I like to see that.
Yeah.
Fight, 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 fight. Pawn takes E4 is pretty good.
Yep, knight G4 is good. Everything's good.
Yeah.
Winning on time is good.
Queen back to D8. All right, now there's a threat.
There is?
Pawn takes knight.
I didn't see that. Yeah, I was expecting knight G4 all along.
Yeah.
And knight G4.
Yeah, knight D4 is pretty good.
King
D5.
H8
D5 is playable now.
It's okay. Is there a move that's not playable?
No.
Queen E8.
But when I say that D5 is playable, what I mean is that D5 is overwhelmingly crunchy.
Yeah, exactly. The truth hurts.
That's understatement.
And
flag.
What on time?
Game, set, match.
Yep. Wow. Not a good week.
The Ospreys outscored the Rats with that one. Congratulations to Camrath. I've never played in the league or been on board 4 in the league, but I have to think that when you're board 4 and you lose the first 3 rounds, which you must do like half the time, almost,
that happens,
right?
Yeah.
Let's say 40 to 50% of the time you lose 3 games, and now you go up against the other board 4. You have just spent 2 hours getting crushed by like super GMs and normal GMs, right? And you're this like 2200 player. You've definitely got to have the right attitude to be like, this 4th board versus 4th board match. That's all that matters. The rest of this was just sort of like, I was hanging out for 2 hours trying not to feel any pain and try and win the 1 point that your team really needs from you.
Yeah, no, but it's especially tough when you have to focus like all your energy after you've already done that. Like losing, and then you're so exhausted from playing because you're in time trouble basically from move 1. But really exciting games, and yeah, they did need their board 4 today, and as usual, Yu Yang-Yi came through. And 4 decisive results, some very decisive.
Some very decisive this time. So the Kangaroos looking surprisingly good. On paper, they're not like a team stacked of like Hikaru's and Dominguez's and Yu Yang-Yi's and things like that. But 10.5 points. I mean, they racked up the score today.
Yeah.
So people are going to have to research their players, do some prep, and see if there's any chinks.
It must have been the half an hour different starting time. It helped some teams and hurt the others.
Just a half hour earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, we started a different time today.
So. I don't even know what time it is in Australia, so it's hard for me to really deeply analyze that suggestion. But by next week, I'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got some kind of time zone. I don't know which day they are, to be honest. So they might already be in February, for all I know.
Let's see, 4:02 p.m. Thursday.
So those guys don't go to work when they've got a match.
That's right. Well, this is their work. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I mean, I think it was another good night for their second board, Smirnov. So he's probably going to still be up there in the top players. But just overall, I mean, like all of their players did well today.
Yep, I think Magnus is 8-0, so he's doing okay also. But we don't talk about his games.
Yeah. Well, all right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. It's been fun. A few less maiden ones than last week, but still a couple.
But some.
Still a couple howlers. I think
a couple mate and twos.
I think we had 4 this week versus 8 last week.
Yeah.
And next match. When's the next match? Is it Saturday? Do we have Super Saturday this week?
I'm not even sure I can do this Saturday one. I'll have to talk to the bosses and the actual boss, my wife.
Yeah, so, all the bosses.
Yeah.
It's rough how as you go through life, you acquire more and more bosses.
That's correct. Yep.
You're 3 years old, you know, you do what you want. If you just decide you want to go pee in your pants, you do it. But now you've just got one person after the next telling you what to do.
What's changed? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry.
It depends how many mates in one I hang, then.
That's reality.
Nope.
Alrighty, so I guess
Saturday
we'll see you guys
we'll do it
again
very soon
for some interleague match play, some Pacific versus East versus whatever. You guys all come cheer for the Pacific and
go Pacific.
We're the division to beat or to lose to.
There you go.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you guys next time. Bye, everyone.